Oakley dokley, Squidward.
Oh, the Oakley dokley.
And now the drums.
We're gonna learn today.
Baldi's Basics.
Yeah. I have a ruler. It goes like this. Oh fuck, that wasn't intense enough.
Do it healthy.
That works.
I was about to say something very upsetting.
Well, don't say that. You're gonna upset Baldi, and he's gonna start going faster, dude.
Welcome to Baldi's Basics in Education and Anti-Racism.
He starts stimming.
Don't
We
be
do
racist.
I am a building.
I hate it. I hate it. here.
Baldi is kind of a stim voice for me the more I think about it.
A little bit.
I'll just start talking like he's kind of fun. Wow, we're gonna have an adventure today.
Hey, baby. Do you know what 2 + 2 is? 4? Oh.
Oh my god. Why would he do that?
Oh. Say it again.
It's like all the Family Guy ones, like, holy fuck, I'm coming.
Hey, AI pisses me off. That is one of the few exceptions. I'm like, I can't not find this funny. I'm sorry. It's like, that was the early age too. That was before it was like really a problem. That's my excuse for that one.
Oh my god.
In fact, I'll play it right now. I won't.
I also hate AI, but I've had this one AI SpongeBob song stuck in my head because
I can't do
of
the
the
songs.
Halloween video.
That's my one thing is I can't do the songs. But like,
well, you see,
is it the ending of the Slender one?
Yeah.
I did see that.
Yeah. Just fucking replaying in my head over and over again is just, welcome to the meme page, shitting and farting, shitting and farting.
My favorite one is the one where it's just that radioactive, but it's cropped to where it's a waking up to ash and dust. What is it?
Oh yeah. That's not AI. That's
Phil. We are talking about the same song.
Oh no. Well, okay. Well, no, we're not talking about
you're
the same
talking
song, but I like the one, the cropped one. I'm pretty sure all the words are like cropped. Where I'm,
yeah, where it's like,
I wipe my ass and I
slap my nuts. Yeah.
Yes, this. We are talking about the same song.
But the one Bottles has is like a like SpongeBob AI one.
Oh no, exactly. I know what we're talking about.
Okay, we're back on track.
I think my favorite.
Okay, we're back
I
on
think my favorite thing with Radioactive is still the fucking like multiple memes of different radio stations that always end in them playing Radioactive. I don't know why. I don't know what it is, and it's just like, welcome to Sonic FM. Open your heart. Tonight we're gonna have a crazy time. Froggy, I'm coming. Anyway, here's Radioactive. I'm waking up.
Why did he say that?
I'm waking up
Should we
and going to bed.
should we introduce the podcast now?
Yeah.
Oh, we should.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hey everybody!
Welcome to the Shitting and Farting Podcast.
I hope
where we shit.
I hope you
we
guys like
shit.
our Baldi role playing for a little bit at the start.
We shit, we fart, but most importantly, we complain about
come.
video games.
Oh, I don't think
yeah.
come. Oh yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Woo!
Oh yeah.
Another week.
No.
Who do we have here today? We have me. I'm Bottles. Hello.
What?
We have me. I'm Bottles. Hello.
What? No way. Impossible. Phil's here.
And we have me. Hi, Bottles. Hello.
Lucas.
And I'm also I'm Lucas. Hi, hello. From Pal
Two and a half bottles.
Yeah.
Bottles.
What is happening now?
I don't know.
Bottles.
Guys, you have a show tonight.
We sure do have a show tonight. And prom's tomorrow.
Ah, fucking damn it.
no.
Again?
Again.
And the guys are offering me weed in the locker room.
Yeah, Pete's the fat kid from 2.5 Men.
The kid, like the only kid.
The
in the
only
show.
I know what you meant. I know what you fucking meant.
Why did you have to
I
have
don't
the
know his
signifier
name.
of fat?
Because I only know him as the fat kid in like the first couple of seasons.
I'm the half.
Oh, you're
Yeah,
the half a guy.
Oh, okay.
You're the half bottles.
Oh, that's awesome.
I can't believe This man is talking about 2.5 Men, a show that has 2 men and a boy, and he goes, the fat kid.
There's only one fat kid. It's the other.
Yeah.
You could just say the kid!
Or the half.
Yeah, you can even say the half man. You didn't have to say the fat kid.
The half man, half boy. The half.
That's why they're calling him Heifer and fucking Rocco.
What are you talking
I'm not.
Alright,
I haven't even been drinking.
We're veering off.
We're not veering off at all.
What have we been playing? Let's all say it together now. Sonic and
Yeah,
Shadow
Shadow Generations.
Generations.
Monster Hunter Wild
losers.
Demo. No,
Hot losers.
Sonic and Shadow Generations.
I'm playing Sonato.
So
It's really cute
So what-
the way they kiss.
did we want to like be gentle about spoilers, or did we want to like? And like we'll talk
No.
briefly. We don't have to go fully.
It's been out for like a week.
I think that's fair.
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
But
yeah. I think it's fair. Yeah. So Super Big the Cat, right?
yeah, that was
Wild.
sick, dude.
No
Dude,
way.
that was
Crazy.
such a reveal.
Yeah.
That was
Wait,
wild.
really?
Yeah, yeah.
The cat goes super film.
It's crazy.
You're
Yeah.
lying.
and-
We're not.
You're a
and
bunch
the-
of liars.
And then he uses Chaos Control to summon Froggy.
Okay, you're lying.
We're not.
No,
Okay,
this
that
is-
last
and
part's a
then-
lie.
No, it's real Phil.
Yeah.
And then I was like, wait, who's voicing Froggy? Because that sounds really familiar. And I looked at the credits and it was your mom.
That's not true. Stop lying.
It's
They
not
know you're
true.
lying.
My mom doesn't voice Froggy. It's just not possible.
But yeah, it's I think we can all firmly say we all really enjoyed the Shadow camping. I think we all can really.
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
No,
I mean, you
fucking
you guys
hated it.
can.
I think it was the worst piece of garbage you've ever gotten in the Sonic. No.
Oh my god.
No, I mean like
no.
You want to know why Shadow Generations was bad? Because Wade Whipple wasn't in it.
no.
Wade
no.
Whipple?
See, I do. I was gonna wait up to bring my critique of it really quick because, but you maybe had to unleash something. It was false advertising. It's called Sonic X Shadow. They didn't fucking kiss. What the fuck was that?
Oh my god.
I know.
What
it's
the
so
fuck
fucking
was
bad.
that?
I can't believe. I can't believe they got like the fucking Hollywood left got away with it a second time. They fucked us out of Sonic and Shadow, and they fucked us out of Godzilla and King Kong.
Fucked up.
my actual gripe is that we didn't get Without You. in
Oh
the game.
yeah, we never got
like
that.
the
You're
song,
right.
The
Yeah.
song from the animation was just nowhere in the game, and I went, that pisses me off because that implies that they wrote a single verse and chorus track. But with like Casey Williams wrote those lyrics, and they did that song for just that animation.
That didn't even occur
And
to me
it's
until now,
and
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
and it's 50% talked over.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I hate this.
That sucks.
Where's my HD
Damn.
release? Where's my full song? I saw someone on Twitter put it over the last cutscene of Shadow Generations, and it's so good it made me cry again.
Aw. Yeah, but like I really, because I'll be honest, I'm only just now getting to like new generations is what I've been calling it, even though it's still basically the same game with some new controls and shit. But yeah, I mean, I really enjoy my time with the Shadow campaign. I really like, honestly, and initially this was like not really a gripe, but the one thing I did take note of it, where it's like I kind of appreciate how short and sweet it was. It was a perfect length where it was just quality the whole time from start to finish, and I really appreciate that about it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I loved really, and like I'm gonna go into one spoiler thing here is I love how they did Mephiles.
Oh
They-
hell yeah.
They acknowledge that he technically doesn't exist anymore still, and it's literally him fighting to exist. I think that's really cool.
It's crazy to me that they made Mephiles like really cool by just having him utter one line.
Yeah.
Not even just Mephiles. I'm really happy that all the bosses for Shadow are like actively trying.
Yeah.
To,
I get what you're saying.
get something out of it.
Yeah.
Like Metal Overlord is like actually trying to prove that he is the better still.
Yeah.
And he's talking in the present tense.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's talking to Shadow after being defeated. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And same thing with Mephiles. Like Mephiles, everything with 06 happened, so he's talking to Shadow after that. You know what I mean? So unlike Sonic Generations, where like all the bosses were just simply in their time, this game treats it like, oh, these bosses are just upset.
Yeah.
Yeah. They've been defeated already. Except for
I
like
think-
Biolizard.
I think Mephiles the whatever is Mephiles the dork and looks dumb and stupid. I have no idea. I didn't play the game.
It's perfect.
Shout out to
Thanks,
Biolizard,
Phil.
by the way.
What I do?
Shout out to Biolizard, by the way, where you know the true players will never know. Like the noobs will never know the true gripe of having a little bit of orange water in the middle of your running.
Oh, dude, you have no idea. When I got to the Biolizard fight in this game, I was anticipating it. I was like, when does it come up? Where is it? I'm like, when am I going to fall into the orange water and then just get swept away? Or have a 50-50 shot of it not being the one that sweeps me away?
Yeah. And yeah, also, like, it goes without saying, all the music was great. All the levels were fun. There were multiple paths in all the levels, too. Like, it was like...
Yeah.
And they also...
Radical Highway is pretty cool.
Yeah. You say that, but, like, honestly, this is a case where it was like, I'll let this slide. It's fine.
I just...
Shadow, I just think Radical Highway is pretty cool.
Oh yeah, what's with that meme? Because I don't know what's going on with that. Does it just everything happens on Radical Highway?
Every time Black Doom like teleports you away from like the stage that you're doing, he always teleports you to Radical Highway, and then the final stage in the game is Radical Highway.
Which
What about the devil from the Bible?
That's who we're talking about, dog.
Okay, the devil from the Bible.
Which I also like
from the Bible.
From a meta contextual thing. I do think it's really cool that the final like actual level is Radical Highway. I think that's really genuinely cool.
I think that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm really sad that they called the big like Doom in this guy Black Moon and not like Seraphim Doom. That would have been cool.
Seraphim Doom. That would have been awesome.
Yeah, Seraphim Doom.
I also
like,
will.
You can't call them that.
I will also say
basically
too,
biblically accurate.
that like. I really think they have something special if they keep this level of quality with like the cutscenes going forward too. Because these are like some of the best these characters, and not only that, just the way the models like emoted and would like animate too. It looks great.
Listen,
like,
you know that like the game is like solid when I'm able to fly clean past a giant eyeball staring at me and not fucking and I don't fucking. Yeah. Like flinch.
Yeah. And it's like
the only criticism that I have of the game has nothing to do with the game itself.
Mm-hmm.
It had everything to do with the marketing.
How so?
Well, you see, you were worried before about like, oh, how spoiler heavy should we go? I don't think it really matters because Sega showed fucking everything anyway.
I forgot about that point too.
Yeah.
You are kind of
right. Sega showed Metropolis in like the trailer pre-launch, and then like the day after the game launched, they were like, "Here's some new stills from Sonic Generations," and one of them was the final boss.
Yeah. Oh, really? I didn't see that. That I missed.
And I went, "Wow, all right."
There were two surprises for most Sonic fans in this whole game. If you don't want to know what the surprises are because you're still playing the game, skip ahead like 20 seconds.
Yeah. Probably.
Oh, okay.
Neo Devil Doom.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And Big the Cat.
Whoa, Big the Cat.
I love that Big's fucking first quote is, "Yeah, your name's Shadow, right? Hey, Froggy's gone. Can you help me find him?" And you just go, no, because it's not a side quest.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, can you actually find him? I never did anything.
No,
he's just
not there.
He's just there. Okay. I also really, as someone who, I mean, I'm sure a lot of you guys do too, adore this fucking song. The fucking remix to All Hail Shadow and the final fucking boss fight was
good.
Awesome.
I will say, here's my thing. Here's my thing, right? I think it's good, right? I love that remix. I think it's really cool, and I like All Hail Shadow. I'm gonna be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of would have liked. There's a couple of the songs I would have found more palatable in that final boss fight, like as well. Because the thing about All Hail Shadow that I've always kind of had a problem with was that it has his name in it, and something about that makes me like it's a little cheesy to me.
I get what you're saying.
If it were my choice. Personally, like, it's a good remix of All Hail Shadow, but if it were my choice, the final boss theme should have been I Am.
Either I Am or Never Turn Back.
True,
that too.
True. I will be in the camp and saying I actually kind of like that it has, like, that slight cheese to it. I personally kind of like that. But I get what you're saying. I understand what you're saying.
Because of the remix, I was still hyped up as shit.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong. I mean, it's still, like, if you made a song called All Hail Vegeta, I'd be like, this is really cheesy, but yeah, fuck yeah, hell yeah, Vegeta. You know what I mean?
But hell yeah, Vegeta Ultra Ego shit. Yeah.
I also think
it still hits. Yeah. It's just like it's a weird. It's always like it's weird that they locked in on this because it makes Shadow seem very like about himself when like he kind of is, but he kind of isn't. Like, he's not really like super like I'm the
I
fucking
never really
best.
read it
Except-
like that because I always feel like All Hell Shadow's a song of like even like the lyric trying to say that it's like nothing can hold him back going forward at this point.
Well, the thing that's really interesting about the Sonic character themes, or at least choices, is that most of them kind of seem like they come from the perspective of the character.
Yeah. Oh, I get what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of them, like when they pick those songs, it's like, oh, this land, like Sonic's theme, It Doesn't Matter, for a while was always about him. Even We Can was about the entirety of Team Sonic, but like. You get to All Hail Shadow, and it's like, if this is from the perspective of Shadow, this seems very full of himself.
I can understand that. I can understand what you're saying with that. I get.
Like, and if it isn't, it's still a good song. But now you've broken what was a cool thematic pattern with the character themes.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. I personally still really enjoyed it myself. I also, again, like I said, I'm biased. I like that song a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I did not enjoy it.
Of course.
Like I said, I think it's really good. But
I think
like, there's other songs
the ending to the campaign as a whole was just I really enjoyed for Shadow as a character because god damn, the fucking character exists again.
I do think it would have been really. It would have been really cool.
Shadow's back, dog.
Like
yeah, I do think it would have been really cool to get a Super Shadow.
Yeah, but it technically wouldn't happen because Sonic has the emeralds at the time.
Yeah,
and my god, man, that fucking smile meant everything to me. That he hasn't been able to do that forever, and
instead of yeah, like Super Shadow couldn't happen because Sonic had the emeralds, right? But like, what if they did Infinity Endgame time heist and got emeralds from the past?
Shut up! Shut up! That was dumb in Endgame.
You're wrong.
Yeah.
Shut up.
I think I've really kind of said my piece overall about Sonic X Shadow Generations. I still want to be a little vague about it.
I think it's good.
Yeah.
I think the stage choices were cool. I'm sorry, Steve, but fuck forces.
Damn.
I still think Chaos Island was a very weird pick, but like it was cool at least. Like
it was a good stage.
It was a good stage.
Yeah, and the music.
Yeah.
Oh, the music was better than any of the island music in Frontiers.
I think it's even better than any of the level, like the cyberspace music.
I don't know. Flowing with time, I'm flowing.
No, don't fuck. I don't want to go baton. All right.
If it's any
Fucking
consolation,
get
I
outta
think
here.
this Chaos Island is infinitely better than actual Chaos Island from Frontiers. But
1000% because I'm not lost.
yeah, that was a joke.
I thought they did a very good job designing a stage around what was an open zone area before.
You do.
Yeah,
I do have to give them credit because they don't reveal the name of the stage until like after you finish the first act.
Yeah.
I knew in the stage. I'm like, is this Chaos Island?
Yeah.
So it's like that's impressive when all 5 of the islands could be mistaken for each other.
Yeah. The one other thing too is I will mention it, going back to Mephiles because again I really liked all the little things they did with Mephiles in this. I like that he's fucking sealed away in the basement.
Yeah.
Like he's literally like you have to find him in the fucking basement to even fight him. And
he's being treated like imaginary Gary.
And
I want to exist
for
all that is cool.
I also because I really legitimately for the life of me when I was playing for the first time I could not pinpoint who his voice VA was at all. And then I had Steve in chat, and he told me, and it fucking threw me for a loop that it was Robbie Damon who voiced Chai in Hi-Fi Rush. I was like, "Are you joking? This is sick."
He's also Goro Akechi in Persona 5.
Oh, is he actually?
It's
I actually
funny.
didn't know that.
It's funny because I don't know Robbie Damon's voice work that well.
I just mainly know Chai.
But I mean, I played Hi-Fi Rush, so of course I know Chai, but like that's kind of it. But like. I was definitely thrown for a loop when I found out Ben Diskin was voicing Black Doom.
Number 1.
Yeah, that also. I thought that wasn't like legit at first. Like I was like, no, it's not. Then he finally said it all. I'm like, oh.
I was sitting there. I was just like, I can't get away.
He did good though. He did good though.
I can't get away from young Xehanort. I can't.
I kind of liked also like how some of his deliveries in the final fight were almost like cocky towards Shadow too. I really liked that spin on him a little bit too.
Yeah, I liked cocky Black Doom.
It was cool.
Like he's just like, fuck you, I'm gonna win, and then Shadow's like, shut up.
And he smacks him.
Dude, can I just say, you know, I did forget that I have to go back and get the achievement to not take a hit in the final boss fight for Shadow.
Let me tell you, it sucks.
Yeah, but it's definitely going to be easier than Time Eater.
You're not wrong, but also, fuck, in particular, the Doom Morph.
Yeah, that was weird. I definitely struggled with that one a little bit, but I got used to it.
I don't have trouble with the Doom Morph in the Black Doom fight. I had trouble with the Doom Morph in the hard version of Mephiles.
I still have to play the hard mode stuff.
Yeah, I haven't touched
Dude,
it.
I haven't done that yet.
Yeah.
Godspeed, man. Mephiles is fucking rough.
Let me ask so we can kind of keep moving forward. Just one last thing, because again, I only just started playing like the revamped generations, because I'm assuming you guys have gone through it basically.
Yes.
What do you think of like any of like the changes they did to it? Like,
I think it's way better.
oh, cool, sick.
I have not played all of Sonic Generations.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I played the game, I speedrun the game multiple times. Just,
I get it.
There's only so
I
much,
get it.
and like, and like, I've been using guides for the chows because they're so fucking small. I can't.
Yeah.
There's sometimes where I'm just like, how was I supposed to see that guy?
For me, the few ones I've found so far where I'm literally just playing the game, I literally go like, oh my god, little guy.
Sometimes I'm literally like, I thought that was part of the background.
Yeah, because like the thing is that like one of them, I think there was one in like Speed Highway where I was like, that's not even remotely in the flow of the stage.
Some of them are just hidden in boxes too. Like it's like,
that too. Yeah, it's like why would I stomp this rock?
Yeah,
I would have to break out of the entire flow of the stage. Like, I think classic isn't as bad. I think modern, finding them in modern is rough because I'm trying to like just boost and go fast, and then suddenly I have to go, oh, what if I stopped real hard real quick and just went to this left area that has never mattered before?
Okay. So I'm gonna say we start moving on, but still talk about the games we're playing, because I will also blanket say, all right, guys, next game we gotta talk about Dragon Ball Sparking Zero.
I was gonna say, damn, I didn't even get a chance.
No. I'm getting the obvious ones out of the way that we were all hyped for, that I'm pretty sure we said on the last one. But at least for me, because Sparking Zero, literally, that's the game I played the most all October. Mind you, it was at the start of October, and I fucking love that game.
It's really good.
It's really good.
I think they oversold most of the what ifs.
I agree.
There's a lot. There's a lot.
I said this before to Bottles, Lucas, but I can't get over how many of the fucking what ifs are. And then day one.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I actually, even for my channel, like, I wasn't getting all of them. I just recently did my last stream of it. I didn't even finish Jiren. After a while, I was just like, I can't do this anymore. But like,
the problem is Jiren is 90% what if, because
because he doesn't have a lot. Like, he
didn't have a lot. But like the thing is the problem is that, and the other problem is to get some of the what ifs, it's beat this but faster.
Yeah, most of them.
And some of those are absurd. There's one of them I have not done.
Which
yet.
one?
Which is beat
Piccolo and Frieza
2 into Form 3. Yes!
Fuck that one. Hey,
dude,
fuck that one.
What the fuck, dude? I just went, you're gonna make me speed run. You're gonna make me learn to speed run a fight just so you can go, and then Piccolo beat it a little quicker.
Like,
and I'm like, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. I literally just went, someday.
I do think like the big ones that they did were really cool. Like, I think the obvious one, and I guess we can go into spoilers. Is that fine for everyone, or like?
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I only played the game once, but like I already heard about most of the
like Gohan Black is cool. I think that was a cool spin they did.
Right.
I also really liked personally. It's early on. The route in like Frieza Saiyan into Frieza Saga where Vegeta goes Super Saiyan. During Frieza Saga and kills everyone, including Frieza, just to rematch with Goku. I liked that one a lot. Like,
I really liked that because that one was in the lineup of going Super Saiyan as Goku.
Yeah.
And I was like, this has been pretty cool so far. And then Vegeta shut up, and I went, oh,
yeah, that one's really sick.
Yeah. Phil was in the call while we were.
I was like, streaming. What the?
Yeah. And we were all like, oh shit.
There was also one, if I remember correctly, was there one during Vegeta where it was Vegeta and Trunks kill Cell? Am I wrong, or am I misremembering that?
Yes,
okay,
there was.
That one was cool.
We get a father-son.
Yes.
Father-son final Flash, I think.
Or,
Heat Dome attack.
Yeah. That was cool too. I like that one too. But yeah, I agree with you. A lot of the what ifs were like, and then day one, the end.
It's
Day one to
it's
game.
only.
Yeah.
It's not frustrating because that they exist. It's frustrating because I had to work really hard to get this fight condition just for you to tell
and not
me
only
I won
that,
and then send me back.
Not only that, I gotta be honest, and this is one of my biggest criticism of the game with that specifically is they're fucking vague as shit about it. They don't really fucking, they barely tell you the bare minimum, and some of them were just outright fucking wrong, like, felt wrong sometimes, where it's like, to get the canon path, you have to do the harder one too, and it's like, what the fuck is this?
My favorite thing too is that because, like, my favorite thing too is that, like, or sorry, I should say, I say my favorite thing. The thing that really pisses me off a little bit is that instead of
so the
trying
exact
to give us,
opposite.
instead of trying, I think I did this last podcast too. But like instead of what they could have done, which is trying to give us like a what if scenario timeline for GT stuff, they just went, oh, you finished the what if where Vegeta went Super Saiyan in the Namek Saga. Here's Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. I'm sorry, Vegeta. You know, you can figure that, you know, he still had his tail, so maybe he went Super Saiyan 4.
Yeah.
And it's like,
yeah,
you're making me add implications.
I just
like instead of just doing a quick little what if thing to show me GT real quick.
I did find out recently. I haven't done this one. My friend told me about it because at this point I'm just fine with spoilers about the game. It's fine. It's been out for how long? There's a what if in Frieza that he told me about that's fucking insane.
Which one?
What is it?
It's after, I think, Frieza. I don't remember the exact. I think you have to actually beat Goku during the Resurrection F stuff. I don't know if that is one of the routes, but apparently it leads to Frieza being asked to be part of the Tournament of Power. And then you can choose to revive either like Zarbon Dodoria, the Ginyu Force, or Cooler and King Cold or some shit.
Why?
Yeah, that's what my friend was telling me today. I'm like, I gotta try this shit out. I have to do this one at least. But like,
that's crazy.
I might be having the details mixed up a little bit, but that's what he explained to me. I'm like, that sounds fucking cool.
I was gonna say, like, I do think the what ifs for that game are the coolest part of it.
yeah.
And I know it's a Tenkaichi game, and like younger me would be like, "What? That's crazy," but like older me's like,
no.
I'm like,
no,
yeah,
I'm still
like,
into the
just,
gameplay like a lot.
That's fine. Like, it's just,
I
just want to know like if there are any what ifs in like
I can't
the Android Saga.
Yeah.
Right. I want to know what those are because there has to be some.
I can't believe
like
that. Like now, I want to like go into the gameplay just a little bit so we can move on to like us going through all of our other games. But like, Dr. Wheelo is like actually legitimately a cheese character online, and it's the funniest fucking. I love it. I love it. I love him. He's one of my favorites. And the counter argument to that is, I don't know what it is. I can't do shit as Cooler, and it pisses me the fuck off.
My favorite thing to do online and ranked in that game is beat the shit out of someone with Kid Goku from Dragon Ball. Yeah. And then I go rematch, and they just don't.
Yeah. I'll be transparent. I haven't done online because it intimidates the shit out of me. But, like, I've just seen gameplay of, like, people playing Wheelo, and they just cheese out the match. Like, this is so funny.
It's actually nuts. Like, he's one of the best giant characters, I think.
I went in just for the walls, and I picked Janaba.
His name's Janemba.
So it was Janaba, Cell, and First Form Cell. To keep the points low.
Yeah.
But I can transform.
And I will mention.
And then
go.
And then Kid Goku.
Yeah.
And it was very funny to me because I had a match where they had beaten the shit. They killed Janaba and Cell, and I was left with just Kid Goku. I went from them having 3 other characters to them having 1, and then I won.
Nice.
I beat.
Which I will mention really quick, just because you reminded me. I actually like the DP system a lot for the online ranked matches because it literally actually basically like team build, and it's like, okay, so I can either have one really strong character and a few weaker characters, or we could have like multiple like kind of mid-range characters, or you could just have the Ginyu Force because they all equal the exact DP. I'm like, nice.
That's kind of funny.
I
didn't notice that.
That's not just funny. That's actually just cool because it's like, oh, I could just be the Ginyu Force.
Yeah. And as a Ginyu Force fan, hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
So Choku Sentai.
But yeah, I've pretty much said my piece about Sparking Zero. I really enjoyed it. It's definitely one of my favorite games that came out this year. And if you haven't played it yet and you're into it, I recommend it.
Yeah.
Do we want to now? Do you guys want to move on to the games you like individual games you guys have played?
Sure. Yeah. And I feel like because we are a half hour into this pod already, we should probably limit it to like one other game.
That's fine. We can each say like one additional game. It's all good.
So I will say that I have been playing a lot of Crash.
No way.
Now that I'm done with the Halloween video, I've been back on the Crash Bandicoot grind to try to finish that out.
Nice.
So Crash 4 is ruining my life. Cause dude. So I am like being stubborn about Crash 4 right now because I'm like, I can't put out this review and not 106% this game. I can't let myself do that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, every time a new platforming like challenge occurs, I'm just like, come on.
No.
I'm like, please, I'm like, I have to commend the game designers of this game. They really fucking know how to torture a guy.
Yeah.
Cock and ball torture?
That's what it feels like, dog. It's literally the platformer equivalent of cock and ball torture.
You can't say that.
Well, no. Well, here it is. There's the whole review of Crash 4.
That should be the podcast name.
It's the video
Crash
game
Bandicoot.
equivalent.
Crash Bandicoot causes cock and ball torture?
Oh my god.
It's a question mark.
All right. Who's next?
That's awesome.
So I'll go. Last night, for pretty much from like 6:30 to like 10:30 or 11, I was playing the Monster Hunter Wilds demo.
Oh.
Returning to my roots as an insect glaive maid.
Boom.
And with my bug buddy. And let me tell you,
Stick buddy.
I never grow tired of mounting. I'm mounting again because for those who don't know, Insect Glaive gets a fun little maneuver mechanic where you can pole vault off of your like blade or your staff, and you basically you get like aerial combat, but also because you're doing a manual jump into the air, you get access to a very easy mounting system, and I get to mount a lot. But I'll admit there are some really shitty Insect Glaive players that give us a bad name that like they don't keep
it's you.
It's not, because I keep my buffs up and I stick to the ground that I focus where the weak points, or if someone goes, hey, get the tail, I go for the tail. Like I listen. I'm a team player. And I don't just fly around the air whiffing the whole time. All right, I land my shots. All right, so
okay.
I know what I'm doing. I was mounting. There's I don't know if this is new to Wilds or not. There's a system, you can get wounds open on the monsters.
That might be new.
That sounds like that's new.
And I had while I'm mounting, because I'm stabbing into it, I can very easily while mounted open these wounds. So I played it optimally, right? I made sure that I opened the 2 wounds on the monster that I could before I took it down with high damage, and then we took out the other wound on the ground. Like I'm optimal with my Insect Glaive. All right. The entire time I was playing though, I was like, I missed this. I haven't played a Monster Hunter in a while. I missed this.
Yeah, you also kiss boys.
No.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but I don't.
Signs that you're not straight. You like boys, don't you?
Oh god, it's the video of I know what boys do when they go to rescue the women and children so they can kiss each other. No,
I found really quick. Just it's kind of in the right vein of this. Before you go, Phil, I found a video where it's the clip from DBZ Abridged from Broly where Broly's like Princess Trunks and he like attacks him for it and like
oh no,
and then Trunks like Goku, get me out of here, instant transmission now. And fucking the caption is just when your bro finds out you got a girlfriend. It's like
that's so true, by the way.
All right,
so true.
Phil, what did you play?
What have I been playing?
Yeah, just one game for right now because we are
just one game.
Just one.
Okay.
Just one. Go
well,
one.
That's perfect. So I finally understand why so many people were playing Balatro. Like, I get it now.
Oh, okay.
If you don't know what Balatro is, it's the poker roguelike game.
Oh.
Where like you have you have your deck, you have to beat like a blind, like a poker blind, and your whole thing is just playing poker and beating the blind. And it's really quick. I got so addicted to the point where I bought it on my phone. So I've been playing it on my phone. And it's a fun game. If you've seen people like play Balatro and you're like, what is this game about? Like it's really fun. It's a lot of fun. I really like it. It's been just passing the time, like especially like at work. It's just been like, oh, I've got nothing to do. Let me just play Balatro, and that's just what I've been doing. I've been playing a couple of other things, but like nothing too crazy. But just mainly Balatro.
Because obviously for me too, is like the big ones were Sonic and Dragon Ball. But the one game I will call out for this, just to pick something a little different, and I literally just played it on Halloween. The indie game is technically considered a mascot horror, Finding Frankie. But the unique thing about this game is it's about you're a guy who won a prize to attend this. Basically, it's like it's kind of like Ninja Warrior, where there's like a bunch of like you have to like run on the it's like a parkour game where you got to run around and like there's all these like obstacles. There's like fists coming out of the wall that are gonna kill you and shit. And there's like I really for the most part enjoyed it. It's if you know what you're doing and you can get good at it, you can beat it pretty quickly because it's also meant to be a speedrunning game where you can kind of speedrun it as quick as you can. But the thing is, from playing it, while I did enjoy my time with it, there was like one section specifically that was like I legitimately like, and you could go back on my stream and check it out, where I'm just like I slowly go from like, oh, this is funny because like something funny happens during it. Like you have to jump through these hoops and then these little guys come in and you have to like basically you click them to like get rid of them, but they like explode basically into like blood. But it was fun and it was funny at first, but then the controls for when you're bouncing around are so not great. I'll be honest, and like it went where like I got legitimately frustrated during that section. I think that was like one of the longest sections around besides like the finale, because the finale of the game, and it's like it's not super spoiler, I'll be honest. Do you know in Fall Guys Hexagon?
I fucking hate Hexagon.
It's Hexagon.
Oh no!
It's hard, but I found that way more enjoyable at least to actually like figure out. And also the music and the animation in that scene is fucking awesome. That's the biggest thing I say about Finding Frankie is that the presentation, and this is their first game they put out too. It's literally if you go on Steam, the team is literally just Finding Frankie Studio or some shit, or Finding Frankie team.
Oh, that's awesome.
And it's like it's a very small indie game, and I did enjoy it, like despite my few gripes with it. And my other gripe was that like while it is like parkour based, it really is still kind of just like your typical mascot horror affair where it's just solving puzzles and stuff, which is fine. You know, it's okay. But I would like to see.
Dude, I can't believe you played.
I would like to see that emphasized a little more if they do a sequel or like another game in the same vein as that. But I really enjoyed Finding Frankie. It was fun. Check it out if you can. Just support because it's a small indie team. Because I think like the quality of it is there at the very least.
Dude, I can't believe you played Freddy Freaker on stream. I didn't say anything.
Bro, that's every day, my man.
Speaking of games that we streamed, I'm not gonna get into it because I don't want to like put in a second game. But like, in my 5 Scary Games stream, I played a game called Bad Parenting. I recommend.
Oh, cool. Okay, then watch.
Ooh, okay.
It is. It's just a game where it's just kind of like a walking sim.
Yeah.
Like most indie horrors, but like the story more than makes up for it.
Yeah. The only one I knew from that stream you were doing was Min's Hints, and I was kind of whatever on that one. But
I liked the beginning of Min's Hints, but then once it just became running through dark hallways, I was like, all right, well, never mind.
Yeah. Okay, so we want to move on to our first topic.
Yeah, what is it?
I'm gonna ask, does anyone know what this is in reference to? Nintendo Strikes Again.
Ann told me today.
Okay.
Because I think I'm the one who put it there.
So Bottles, introduce them.
Okay, so this is probably the funniest fucking thing that I've ever heard. This happened at the beginning of I think last month. It was reported on. So we know Nintendo. We know how Nintendo is when it comes to stuff that they deem as theirs. They are the pariah of taking down fan games, fan works, and even the topic of today, emulators.
Mm-hmm. Emulators.
Nintendo has gone on a tirade, taking down a bunch of emulators, especially Switch emulators, and making sure that no one can archive their games because we might sell them 30 years from now. Well, you see, at the Nintendo Museum in Japan, they were caught using emulators in their museum.
I did hear about this actually.
Instead of actual hardware. So it's just like, I see, Nintendo.
Mm.
So you can use emulators, but we can't.
Yeah.
I see.
I see. I get
Double
it.
standards.
It's just kind of funny because, like, I see the double standard being like, oh, well, it's our stuff.
Yeah.
But also,
Yeah.
it's like, all right, but if it's your stuff, why didn't you just use the hardware? Right?
Yeah.
Because they don't own it.
Well,
Because they don't have it.
All right. First of all, I'm not. It's very funny that they use emulators that were like, and we're talking like the software emulators themselves, not like the core, like not the core programs of their consoles, but emulators designed by people to help people utilize that program.
Yeah.
So we're talking like emulators that they've taken down. So it's funny. I do see why they would though, instead of their own hardware, because they have shit at that museum like giant Wii remotes that you may not be able to program into the base hardware of a Wii. So they may need a UI that has been manipulated, like something from like Dolphin or whatever.
So, like,
to
a mod.
edit.
So,
Right.
like, a mod, right?
Oh, yeah.
A mod that Nintendo, if otherwise used, would have shut down immediately. Like
Right.
the dozens of Smash tournaments that used modded Smash games.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Oh,
I agree. It's very funny. They're doing it, but I definitely
I understand, and I'm not saying
Yeah.
they're wrong for doing it. I'm just
Yeah.
pointing out the blatant hypocrisy.
It's like, hey,
Right.
come on, guys. The only thing I'm like, the only one thing I do get I get it, is more of like the Switch emulators, because like people have been able to play like newer Switch games,
Or even like leaked
and, like,
ROMs
that's-
if someone got access early.
Yeah, like that's
well, no,
that's
that-
kind of
well,
stealing.
That's the thing, right? Is like that I understand. I
Yeah.
don't. I as much as it destroys the modding community, the modding community can also just fucking wait until the Switch loses support.
Oh yeah,
I
no,
feel like
exactly.
that would be kind of the more correct thing to do than to just mod the games immediately. Like,
'Cause
let the
it's-
games run their
it
course
is-
first.
It is also funny when you see stuff like that too, because the constant battle of this stuff is that like, oh well, it's
you
not
see?
stealing, I own the game, or it's not stealing, you're not selling the game, so I can't get it to play it. But then you see these leaks of a new Switch game that isn't out yet, and it's like, that's just
Yeah.
That's
Like-
well, that's just legitimately
Yeah.
wrong.
And if I
Right.
may really quick for a second, because Pete, you said something I did want to comment on, is that to me, my whole issue with this, in the sense of the Nintendo versus like emulation and shit like that, is the fact that, and you said it there, is that you can't just fucking buy these games if you want to. We used to
Right.
be able to do that on like the Wii and the Wii U, and now that's just no longer a thing. And I'm sorry, I know there's the Nintendo Switch Online, I get it. That's not how I want to own these games. I'm very sorry. I would prefer to actually own them and be able to transfer them over from console to console. But
Switch Online doesn't even have like a full library yet.
it doesn't, and I'll give it that credit too. Where it's like they're also adding random ass Japanese games too. I think that is legitimately really cool. But like at the same
that's
at the
neat.
same time, it's like I would really rather just have like a digital, like at least make me allowed to purchase them if I want to.
Yeah, like,
On the-
well, like, because the thing is right, like, you can say whatever you want about the Nintendo Switch Online service that gives you, like, you know, essentially the streaming games for the NES, Super Nintendo, what have you.
Mm-hmm.
It is no Wii Virtual Console.
no,
Not
way.
even a
It
little
is
bit.
not. No
way.
Not even close. And it's only Nintendo consoles, sans the Genesis. So it's like, okay, but like on Wii Virtual Console, I was able to play fucking TurboGrafx games.
Yeah.
Listen, if they're gonna win a lot of points for me on the Nintendo Switch Online side though, if they announce a Dreamcast collection.
Whew.
They won't. Or if they
Don't
do, it'll be like
die.
$100 a year instead of the 25 or the 50.
Yeah,
But
right.
here's the thing though, I have a Nintendo Switch Genesis controller because of that. And if they made a Nintendo Switch Bluetooth Dreamcast controller,
But it's also the thing of
that'd
like
be raw.
like piggybacking off of the Wii thing that Lucas was saying. It's like, okay, so like you don't want to have people get fucking Kirby's Dream Land on the Game Boy because you might re-release it as part of a collection or release it like as it is right now on the Game Boy fucking Nintendo Switch Online. But like, man, there's stuff like WiiWare.
Yeah.
Where pretty much all fucking games on WiiWare are just lost media now because they were preserved nowhere.
How am I going to play sexy poker now?
That's what I'm saying.
Nintendo fucked me.
How am I supposed to play?
What I'm saying.
How am I supposed to play Strong Bad's cool game for attractive people if it wasn't also on Steam?
I was about to say that is on Steam.
I know.
Believe me.
But it's like, imagine if it wasn't, because that was a Wii exclusive for a long time.
Yeah, 100%.
That's really funny that was a Wii exclusive.
Yeah. How am I supposed to play Mega Man not... Oh, wait, there's the collection.
Oh,
Yeah, hey, man, Capcom's been good with that, at least. But do a Legends one now. With Misadventures of Trombone, please and thanks.
Yes, please and thank you. Signed Heart XOXO me.
The problem is these
smooches Capcom on the lips.
The problem is the Capcom Legacy collections are kind of a countdown to the end for Mega Man when you think about it.
A little bit. It's like once they're done, they're never gonna make a Mega Man game.
Yeah, like we'll never.
But
see
with
it
that
again.
being said, also, the idea of me owning like every Mega Man game on Switch is really fucking enticing.
Yes,
it's really enticing.
Really cool.
I like.
Just don't think about it.
Yeah,
just don't think about it. Smile.
Yeah, but like I really.
No, you're right.
That sounds
you're right.
cool,
You're right.
But I don't really want to own every Mega Man game, as in to the last one.
I get it.
And Star Force.
Sure, fuck it.
That's the next one. That's the next collection, right?
It should be
I
Legends.
like Star Force.
But...
I really like Star Force. I'm sorry.
No, I like Star Force.
I've never played them. I'm gonna be real with you, Chief.
I played one of them. I don't think I finished it, but I liked it from what I played.
They're pretty good. It's just 3D Battle Network to a degree.
Yeah.
Like,
Hell yeah.
I like the. I
Anyway.
forget the name of like the like creature that's with Mega Man in that game. The big like energy guy. I think he's really cool.
Oh, I fucking.
Yeah, I don't remember his name, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I played it recently.
I know who you're talking about.
That's why I'm upset that I can't remember because I played it recently.
But
yeah, like the bottom line with the emulation, it's like if you're going to go on this tirade to like shut down emulators and do all of this stuff, you have to have some fucking way to preserve the games then. Like you can't just let them die.
Yeah, the complaint isn't that Nintendo struck down this thing where we're downloading like people are like, oh no, I don't give ROMs, but then but you can get that, you know what I mean? Like I understand the weird legal gray area that it puts people in, but the problem really is that we're complaining about is that we can't get these games we want to play.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with you.
I'm sorry, Nintendo, that like we want to play old games. Not everything is about like the hottest newest thing, especially when the hottest newest thing isn't always that great.
Well, it's also like even like the previous console, right? It's like how easy is it to find a fucking 3DS game now?
Pretty difficult.
Or like
I'd argue
or
it's
like
pretty hard.
A Wii U game.
Yeah.
Or like, oh man, the fucking price of a GameCube game is absurd.
Yeah.
Dude, so as Phil was saying before we started the pod, I went to Grimm the other day or earlier today, fucking whatever. And like the price of some of these games is absurd.
And it's all secondary market, you know. It is secondary market. Because I know that
Games.
I mean, to me, the ridiculous one, and this is not like me bitching about this series because I don't like it anymore, is Pokemon games are fucking absurd.
They're so inflated, it's ridiculous.
Absurd how I remember seeing like Pokemon Pearl for like 130 in a store. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like,
dude, I remember when I was working at GameStop, dude, Pokemon Diamond and Pearl were like $75 each.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, man, that's just Pokemon. Nintendo games have like always.
No, I get it. Like, I do understand it, but I'm like,
but that's not Nintendo. That's
no.
That's
oh
the
no,
retro
I don't
game
mean
market.
that. Oh no, yeah, I don't mean like retro. I mean, I also mean retro game.
And it's also
I
like
don't mean Nintendo, obviously. Just Nintendo games have always been that expensive. To point even going back.
You're right. They have always been expensive, and I'm sorry to cut you off there.
Yeah.
And not to put, I gotta point the finger here a little bit too. It's not just a Nintendo thing. In the case of Pokemon, it's a fucking Pokemon company thing because they're so fucking like weird with their re-releases of their games in the sense that it's like, okay, yeah, on the 3DS generation they re-released Red, Blue, Yellow, and Gold, Silver, Crystal. Never once touched the Game Boy Advance games or the DS games or like any of them. Like, and I'm just like, and they're just still like, everyone's like, oh, when are they gonna add these to Nintendo Online? Bro, they ain't adding those shits to Nintendo Online.
Yeah, they're just not.
Because they think it's too special because you have Pokemon that you can transfer from different games, and they're not gonna do it for that. They're not gonna do the coding for that shit. And it's just like, I think it's just so lame that there hasn't been like a Pokemon retro collection or like a collection based on generation or some shit. I don't know. Like,
yeah, like a Gen 1 collection, Gen 2 collection.
I think it would be overinflated. Like if you're paying like $60 for Red, Blue, and Yellow, I think that would be ridiculous. But I think it'd be at least something. You know, it's.
I think that's kind of. I mean, that's like slightly. Actually, it would be Red, Blue, Green.
I hope if they included green, that'd be awesome.
That would make it worth $60. To be fair,
say it's like you say that's kind of inflated, but like thinking about that, it's like. From, like, my perspective of how I usually like to play, like, Pokemon games, the rare form that I actually do.
Yeah.
If I were able to trade between the games on the cartridge...
That'd be cool, yeah. Like,
that would be huge. No, that would be really huge cool. Because then I can 100% a Pokemon game by myself.
Yeah, like, I think there's a concept there that could work. The problem is also just the Pokemon Company are so fucking stingy with this shit, where they make it, like, seem more important than it actually is. And it's just like, bro, just give people an avenue to play this fucking shit. Like, my God.
So true.
Honestly. Yeah. And it's like, it's so... Pokemon Company is so fucking full of scam artists. It's goddamn ridiculous. Well, I'm just gonna say it. Well, I'm just gonna fucking say it.
Say it, dude.
Pokemon sucks. Pokemon just plain sucks.
Hey, Bottles, you are an entitled fan.
I know.
You are an entitled fan.
Yeah, as someone who didn't play a Pokemon game for the first time until they were like 15.
How Bottles?
How
dare you not like Pokemon Legends Arceus? It's what everyone wanted. It's the game everyone fucking wanted.
I didn't even play it.
I'm talking about myself.
Dude,
I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure.
I think the one thing I do slightly hate about when Pokemon, like when they do Pokemon games, like Game Freak or Pokemon Company, whoever you want to like point the finger to, I hate when they add things in and then the next game just doesn't have them.
Hey.
Like, why?
Yeah.
Like, why? What are you doing? Like, Legends Arceus has a thing where you could just, like, take your Pokemon, I think, out of a box and put it into your team.
Yeah.
Why isn't that just in every game now?
We'll get there when we get there also. But is there anything else you want to say on this topic, Bottles? Or
I think we've said a good amount on our stance on the emulation issue that this kind of turned into.
I was about to say that's a good segue into the next topic. I was gonna say. Because Game Freak is going off to the freak show.
Can I? Because
on God.
Yeah.
Okay, Game Freak had the Game Freak off.
And I feel like there's a lot of weight of me putting this on because I don't think this conversation will go where you guys think. But at the beginning of October, I think October 13th, there was reported a massive data breach in like Game Freak HQ. It's not like someone found a game or no, this was like, and I think from my understanding, forgive me if I'm wrong about this. I've been like someone in office basically fell for a phishing scam, and that gave them full access to records of Pokemon production going back all the way to like Gen 3 to the future as well, by the way. And there was a lot. Look, I really think concept stuff is really cool. It's really cool to see it. It's really awesome. There's a lot of things that came out. The first thing I want to acknowledge, the main thing I want to acknowledge from this right away before I go into some of the interesting bits is I think seeing all this concept stuff is really cool. I think it's really sick. And it's really cool to see how the game's evolved over the years. I think anyone who appreciates games can appreciate something like that, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Anyone
can appreciate the concept station. I wish we saw these in more of a legitimate way. Because I don't think this leak is worth celebrating. Because, and this is coming from me, someone who has said multiple times on this podcast, including a few seconds ago, hi everyone, my name's Lucas. I don't like the modern state of Pokemon, or Game Freak, or the Pokemon Company. And I grew up with Pokemon my whole life. I was their target demographic when Pokemon hit the fucking States. This leak isn't worth celebrating because people's information was getting out there. People were actually getting doxxed, and to me, that's going too far. I do not approve of that fucking shit. And it's like, it sucks.
Oh, so true.
It sucks because I do think there's a lot of interesting things that I really think they have, like, the palm in their hand to do like a museum exhibit or some shit. And it's another case where it's like, this is something they could act on. People would love to see this shit in official form. I would myself at least.
Yeah, definitely.
I thought there was more to it. I was going to say one of the things that was also part of the leak was that they actually had a like figurine toy Pokemon game that they canceled.
There was a lot of canceled games too, and like some of them and the future ones where I'm like, oh wow, I would have fucking hated this myself.
I would have played that toy game. Are you kidding
No, not
me?
that one. I'm talking about the ones that are just like, oh, this is exactly what I didn't want in like Pokemon being open world and it's like real time battle strategy. I'm like, this is not what I wanted at all. I like turn based. That's just me though. And there also I have to acknowledge the fucking. I have to acknowledge it.
All the weird human Pokemon.
So there is for context for people who don't know, in Black and White there's it's not really infamous, it's just a section where it's like you go into a library and it's talking about history, how it's like, and there's just a vague line where it's like, oh, some people used to believe people in Pokemon would marry back in the day or something like that. Well, it turns out that there were multiple concept stories of like legitimately, and it's like actual like relationships between a human and a Pokemon, and it's like, it's not even just that, it's like it gets graphic of like there's a story of like this lady would like tear off the ears of Slackoths, and it's like there was like some surprising, like I'm gonna go into just very vague details on it, but like the reason why I'm bringing this up is and this is gonna be where I want to go with this, people blew this shit out of fucking proportion because all of these read like yokai stories.
Yeah. That's the point.
They're all fucking yokai stories. Yeah. And even then,
it's all folktale.
People forget that it's like, these are all mangled translations through like online translating Japanese text.
No, I didn't find that out until recently.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all meme. Yeah. Like, listen, my thing with it, right? I love the memes. I love seeing the pictures of Typhlosion going online and being like, oh god.
I don't.
I love the first thing I ever saw. This was how I found out about the Giga Leak. Was the fucking being like, man, I can't believe the Game Freak Mega Leak was already predicted, and it was the video of fucking Batman and Joker's like, I'm gonna fuck the Pokemon, Batman.
So true.
My listen. It all boils down to, what if Game Freak was called Game Freak and they, oh my god.
The thing is, I want to give you credit for that, but my god, I literally, the day all that broke, I saw 5 posts in a row and I was like, alright, I'm done.
No, that's fair. See, listen, I found out.
Pokemon fans will have one joke and then latch onto it forever, and that's why I'm like,
it's so true.
So true.
Listen, I loved seeing it from a meme perspective. I
hate internet memes now.
Don't really care.
I get it. Yeah, but
I mean, here's the thing. I am not a Pokemon fan. I've never really been a Pokemon fan. Every time I'm like, oh, this new Pokemon game, this might be the one that I get into. Never is. Never is. Yeah. Every time.
It's funny because I was the same way. I was the same way for a long time. Like, I got every Pokemon game, I got it, and then like, I think like Sword and Shield, where I bought Pokemon Sword, never played it, and I'm like, why did I buy this?
You did yourself a service in not playing it.
Oh, I know, because I heard about how bad it was. But I was like,
and it only
I'm like, why?
It only gets worse from there.
And it's funny.
I like Sword.
Because
Sword was fun.
it's funny because like, you know, I was working at GameStop during the time that both Sword and Shield and also Scarlet and Violet came out. And Scarlet and Violet came out, and, you know, my coworkers were like, "Oh, are you going to pre-order Pokemon?" I'm like, "No, it's going to suck."
And with Sword and Shield, I have a very staunch history with that game. But all I will say is I like the rabbit. That is my comment on that game. But
Listen.
I like Toxtricity. He's my favorite Pokemon.
I like the rabbit.
Listen, man, there's no law against fucking the Pokemon, Batman.
Stop it. You can leave.
Pokemon has the same thing going for it right now that fucking Apple does. Where it's like even if the product is absolute fucking shit, people are like, I gotta pre-order.
I gotta get
one.
it. Yeah, it's
That's why I'm not gonna lie. A bunch of people, you know, pointed at me and went, haha, no Gen 5 remake loser. And I'm like, honestly, I'd rather stay on
Yes,
DS.
yes,
I'm not.
yes,
please.
I'd rather.
Honestly, after fucking Brilliant Diamond,
Yes,
or whatever,
yes.
like, no, you can keep. Your Gen 5
I legitimately,
now.
if I saw a Gen 5 remake in the style of Brilliant Diamond, I'd be fucking appalled. I'd be like,
It's not even. I wouldn't even say like the style of DSP. I just like don't.
yeah, I don't want it either. I agree with you. Honestly, literally just re-release them. I don't want to remake.
If you can afford to buy the game or do the other thing, do it. Like do yourself play because it's the best Pokemon game, and like I'll die on this hill. It's not apparently a big hill to die on.
My favorite is Diamond and Pearl, because that's the one that I finally like really finished playing.
Nice two fire types, loser.
Then I went back.
Thanks. I like my Monferno, asshole.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But
actually,
yeah, But here's the thing. I think the peak of art design was Gen 5.
Real.
Yeah.
No, that's the peak.
I think
right.
art design
You're right.
in Pokemon peaked at Gen 5. I think that fusion of sprite and minor 3D.
There's
assets,
nothing better
great,
than
bro.
it.
It's
I
great.
really don't think
I agree
so.
with you.
There's
I
nothing
think
better.
legitimately, like,
Nothing
and I don't
better.
want this section to be like a whole like Pokemon tangent. It's mainly I want to just talk about it. I will just say really quick is this series lost so much sauce when it went 3D. It became
Yes.
It did.
I
so
agree.
sterile, and I'm just
I'm not gonna lie. When I heard that, what was the first one that went 3D?
X and
It
Y.
was X and Y.
X
yeah.
and Y.
That's what I thought. When I heard X and Y was going with 3D models, I literally had that moment of like, this is the end.
I was still very much biased at the time, and I do. A side of me still likes X and Y, even though it's still like it's the first one in that era. But it's just like, man, it gets so much worse, and I'm just like,
I think it stops being good after Sun and Moon. I think Sun
that
and
was
Moon
my
is really where,
and I would say also like Ultra Sun and Moon is where it starts. That game was like where I noticed a weird breaking point where I'm like, I'm not really liking
bro.
this.
When they,
I also don't mean the game. Sorry, I also don't mean the games like as a whole. I mean like in terms of like
I
the 3D like Pokemon. I think that's where it goes down.
When they hit us with Omega Ruby,
I love
and
that game.
Sapphire,
I like that.
Those games are actually not bad. I like those ones.
I just don't like looking at them.
Oh really? Oh
That's
yeah.
fine.
I don't like looking at
that's
them.
fair. No,
Yeah, there's
that's
too
fair.
much
I get it.
water.
But
No, but it's
much
just
wah-wah.
because I'm so partial. Like I loved playing Emerald back in the day. I love looking at Pokemon Emerald, but it's just not.
hey, you know what they could
that
do?
region doesn't hit.
And I want to wrap this up because I want to be on this forever. Because I could complain about this franchise forever. You know what I think they could really do if they really wanted to like remake Black and White. And I think we've even said this in conversation casually. Make it like fucking Octopath Traveler, that kind of style. I forget the name of it. It's like the 3D pixel style.
HD.
I think that would be really. I think that would be really cool. But will I buy it?
I'd like that a lot.
Probably not. But
I'd probably buy it. I would do myself a civil disservice if I didn't. This is my favorite game.
The only thing I'd ask is that if they were to do that, to maybe turn the lighting up a little bit, because all the games that get HD 2D remakes are like weirdly dimmed at the edges. Like there's a vignette, and I'm like, this feels weird. I feel like I just walked inside from being outside for a while. My eyes were adjusting, but it's the entire game.
To wrap this up, because I would like to move on. Yeah, this leak was like, it was very interesting, and I did like seeing all the concept shit, even if there was some stuff I didn't like from it. But I don't think it was good. I think it's very bad, and I think it's gonna make a lot of distrust from the company already, which is even already an issue.
I know that
My other last point is even though I'm glad at the end of the day they went with Mudkip as the water starter for Gen 3, and I think that was the right choice, I did really like the proto Gen 3 water starter. There was like the little rabbit with the floaty. I liked him a lot.
Yeah.
I was gonna say my last bit was I kind of hated some people being like, man, you got robbed. I'm like,
fuck that.
You're telling me you don't know
annoying.
what? You're telling me you never liked the Mudkip? Like,
That's
you.
annoying.
Like,
That's annoying.
off.
I hate anyone who does that because also like it's just, in the same vein as like my real actual last point where people are like trying to canonize those like those stories where it's like, no, they're not canon. They were never put into the final fucking game.
So true.
Like,
Yeah.
So
there
true.
was also
like the fact that you're finding out about it right now shows you that it's not canon.
there was though.
Please
the
stop.
one thing in vein of that too is, and I will mention this. I'm sorry, I could just talk about this forever. They did like find also like a weird lore breakdown that explains like the lore of the legendaries, and like that is the thing. Now the thing where I'm like, bro, you guys gotta just fucking put this out. People will eat this fucking shit up. Like,
I probably
like
I feel even the yokai stories at points.
yeah,
I'm like,
just tone them down
you
a
know-
little bit. Tone them down a little
Yeah,
bit. 'Cause
yeah,
just that
obviously.
tone just doesn't work with Pokemon. It's just true. It
It is strange, but it's like if you have like because people love fucking dark shit in
Yeah,
Pokemon, and people
yeah.
are obsessed with that crap. Why do you think Lavender Town is a goddamn
like it's
internet legend? Hell, even fucking the Porygon shit with
Yeah,
the
seizure
seizures. Like
episode,
people love knowing about that shit. And it's like, you don't think if you put more dark shit into Pokemon that people wouldn't eat that shit up?
No, instead we have to make all the characters look like Disney models and have them be like, "We're the best. You're my favorite rival." Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, shut the hell up. Can we get a rival that's actually a dickhead again?
Yeah, I missed that. Hey, credit to Sword and Shield. The character Bede was basically that. He wasn't really a rival, but he was a dickhead the whole game, basically.
Yeah, Gary.
Yeah.
Gary, original Gary would never be like, you know what, we're really friends. No, the original Gary would have looked me dead in the eyes and called me a slur.
And kicked you in the
He would
fucking
have looked
balls.
me dead in the eyes, called me a slur, and fucked my mom. He wouldn't threaten to fuck my mom. He would do it.
Do it, all right?
Gary motherfucking Oak.
So true.
What's next? What's next?
The next is question
Question.
time. Question of the day is one of the two. Do gamers take the Game Awards too seriously? I don't know who put this on.
I submitted
Maybe,
Brandon.
I don't know who.
Brandon.
Might have
been
been Brandon.
Brandon.
I'm gonna tell you, I kind of take it a little seriously. Yeah, I do. I'm just gonna admit it. I do. I take it a little seriously because they're just like things that I think just deserve a win. Right? It's like, oh, this game deserves it. Like, unlike a couple years ago when it was like, hey, here's these 4 games that are really good, and then here's like The Last of Us 2, and it's like, oh, great. I wonder who won that award. Like, but I even felt that last year when it was like 3 random RPGs.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 16. Oh, this might win actually. Then Baldur's Gate. Oh, sorry. I think it's Baldur's Gate, and I really do like Baldur's Gate. So, but I kind of do. It's just, I guess it's just like I hate seeing things that don't deserve to win things, and I think that's
I
what angers
have
me
the
and why I hate
same
it.
staunch feeling I do about the Oscars. I think myself personally, this is just personally, I think the actual award show aspect is bullshit. I a lot of the time, I think there's more sincerity with the Game Awards, to be honest, compared to the Oscars. I think there's way more
Jeff.
sincerity.
Oh, yeah.
Sincerity, because
Well,
Jeff does give a shit. He does care.
I was gonna say, it's like when I listen to Jeff Keighley speak, I don't get that like we're here for an award show,
or it's not
and
celebrities
the
just
winner
jerking
is-
themselves off. Like it's like
Yeah, or it's like
Yeah,
oh,
they straight jaw.
I do hate though. They did it a lot during E3, and I made this known when I made my E3 videos back in the day. I hate when they like take a break from like the show, whether it's like showing off trailers or like the Game Awards. I hate when they take a break and the studio's like, the video game industry is just so good and inclusive and it's so cool and we're so great. It's like, I just want to fucking know about the video games that are coming out. I don't give a shit about
I want
this.
to see Mario go wahoo.
My
all I
personal
want.
gripe. My personal gripe with the Game Awards setup is, and I get that it's like for time, but I hate when like there's a category I'm really excited for.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it just happens to be one of the intermission
Yeah,
ones.
Yeah.
That sucks.
That's
And I'm
fair.
like, thanks.
Thanks. That's the one I wanted to see.
This is, and the category is this, and the winner is
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, that sucks.
Anyway, time for this Mercedes ad.
Time for this Time for us to show an ad for a fucking gaming chair.
I was gonna say, as a society, and brought it up, as a society, we lost two things. Flash photography at wrestling events when there's a big move that happens, lost that. That sucks. Okay. And E3. I do think we lost a little bit of like spark in me, like personally, when E3 was gone, because I miss the full-on presentations. Yeah. I loved everyone being in the background.
I agree. Even if it was cringe E3 stuff, I miss it. I miss that a little bit.
No, but here's the thing. Here's my thing with E3, and I have to point this out, is that, like, I think that it's less, we lost something when E3 ended officially. We lost something when we all knew E3 was going to end. Yeah,
that's a better way to. Actually a better way to put that. Yeah. I get what you're saying.
That's fair.
You're right.
When E3 hit its turning point, and we all looked at it and went, "This is a horse that's about to be put down because it can no longer."
It started going even more. It started going even more corporate as like the years went on too. Because E3 was always like, for a long time, was a private behind doors thing.
Well,
like
it went more corporate. Because they started realizing they were like, companies were starting to do their own thing. And the reason why it hits me really hard is because I will never, ever, 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 like, everyone always says, like, where were you when 9/11? You know what I mean? My where were you when this happened thing was the announcement.
Yeah, I had a feeling. Yeah,
dude,
I remember that. I remember that too.
I wasn't even a Kingdom Hearts fan, and I was so excited when they showed off Kingdom Hearts 3.
Thinking about it now, I'm starting to tear up a little bit again, because it's such an announcement that, and like, funny, haha, it took like 13 fucking years to come out after
that's still like,
but like that, I go back to that trailer so many times because the shots of Sora flying through, and you see all the game clips happening, and he picks up Ericus's Keyblade, and like, it cuts to footage of him in Twilight Town, and the shadow, the fucking pile of shadows behind him that we hadn't seen yet because 2.8 didn't exist yet. So like, it was this massive, like, holy shit, and then you just see the fucking Kingdom Hearts 3 pop up. It's like, and listen, I never fucking learned my lesson because I had the same fucking feeling watching the Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer because that was fucking crazy. The difference is that Kingdom Hearts 3 at E3 2013 was and is one of the moments where I went, this is for me.
Yeah.
This moment, like, because I didn't have that with Sonic. Sonic's E3 announcements were never that, like, that never hit me that way. You know what I mean? 06 announcement was, like, kind of cool. It was a neat cinematic, but it never really hit that much. It was like, this is cool. And then every other announcement was like, whatever. But this fucking announcement right here was like, and I was in a call with, like, people I knew on Skype at the time.
Oh, I think you told me about that.
I wasn't even in the call with, like, these guys, with my friends from school. I was in a call with online friends, and I was screeching. I was screaming when it started playing.
Could you do the voice that I like when you do when you screech?
Which one?
The one with us from Smiley Friends.
The fucking, like, the wife, like,
the wife.
Yeah,
so I like to think that's what it was.
That was me. Kingdom Hearts 3. Kingdom Hearts 3!
Your mic just fucked.
But it's really it really was a moment. I think E3 brought that out, and Game Awards are a substitute. You know, like, I take the Game Awards. I take the Game Awards more seriously because, first of all, there are moments like with FF16 when the awards it did win came through, and I was like, "Fuck yeah, dude, FF16!" Like, and there are moments where, and I really wish that FF16 was in the running for Game of the Year, so that we could have had them playing part of the FF16 OST.
Yeah.
That's fair.
And I think the parts that piss me off are those moments where a slot of Game of the Year is taken up by some random slop that's mostly gacha, or so, you know what I mean? Where it's like, Why?
I don't even know what it was. I don't even know what it was last year. But
Listen.
like, to be fair, there were a lot of good games last year.
Listen though,
Like, there was all these
how many fucking times can we nominate Genshin Impact for an award?
A lot, because it's people play.
But just stop. It's like
No.
it shouldn't count.
Do you know what?
money.
I don't care about money.
Yeah. But money.
In the vein of like big reveals being like there is one. I mean, it's obvious why I remember this one because it was the night of release. But I think the last big Game Awards thing that I was like, holy fucking shit, because it was also a genuine surprise to everyone, was the reveal of Joker in Smash.
Yes. Oh
Yes,
my god.
that was probably one of my favorite.
That was
Smash
one of the
reveals.
cleanest Smash reveals they've ever.
Well, because
and, like,
it was literally because they started it out and it seemed like it was
Yes.
going to be a Persona
Yes.
5 like DLC
for Switch.
or whatever.
Yeah.
or like Persona 5 for Switch, and then he turns the fucking
Yeah.
letter around and it's a
turns the
Smash.
card.
I don't
There
think
you
they even showed the Nintendo logo. I think the whole thing was like it's like they hacked, quote unquote hacked the Game Awards, whatever. But yeah,
Yes.
and then they
Yeah.
and I remember because that was the night Smash Ultimate came out, and I was in the middle of a
Yeah.
GameStop.
I didn't even notice that
Yeah.
like when that happened. Like I didn't know that was like the release date.
yeah.
And yeah, the card comes down and he grabs it and it's like, oh, the winner of the award is, and then nope, it's just Joker and Smash. I thought that
Well,
reveal.
everyone thought it was a calling.
I think we watched it.
It could be assumed that's a calling.
Yeah, I think we watched it in Discord. And we were all like flipping the fuck out. Even people who didn't play Persona 5 were like, holy shit.
That
I think
I'm not going to lie, that moment made me want to play Persona 5.
Yeah, no,
Oh
I
shit,
think
that's cool.
I think the Joker in Smash, the first Smash DLC character, and Sora, the last one, are like the most hyped.
Hey, oddly enough, you know what's one of my favorite Smash? I know this is a little off topic. One of my favorite Ultimate trailers, and it's like I'm not even like super versed in the series. I legitimately think the Sephiroth trailer is awesome from start to finish.
It was great.
He cuts Legume in half.
I have my bias. He's my mortal enemy.
No, I like,
There was something I was like, okay, who is it? Who is it?
and they just
then
start
you
the
see-
music, and it's like, oh
Yeah.
no.
You hear the first
Yeah.
note of One
Yeah.
Winged Angel, and it's like, oh
Every
my
time.
god.
I think
Every
my
time.
two favorite
everyone
things
else,
about
trailer.
everyone else is like, oh my god, it's Sephiroth, and I'm like, it's this fucking guy again.
I think my favorite.
He followed me again.
I think my favorite two things about that trailer are, one, like it shows that he's obviously way stronger than this random Smash god, and two, the only person obviously who reacts to it is Cloud because it pans them and he's like, oh,
such
shit,
a fun
like,
trailer.
Dude,
I really did like that
dude.
trailer
So
a
good.
lot. Like,
Dude, I sat there and as soon as they went, guess what? You can unlock him early if you beat
The
him now.
Sephiroth
And I
challenge.
went, oh, I'm gonna beat him. I'm gonna beat him now. I'm gonna beat him now with Cloud. I'm gonna teach this motherfucker. God, I'm rolling my sleeves up. I'm like, this motherfucker keeps getting in my games and knocking on my
sucking
door,
my dick, calling
calling
me gay.
Like,
another part of this question too, I did want to mention, because I feel like a lot of like the people who take the Game Awards seriously are still the people who are in that mindset of console wars for some fucking reason, and it's just like
That's fair. There's like a level
people
to
get
it, right? Like
really
there's a level
weirdly
like I
of
think
like oh, because this game got 1 billion awards, it's good and you can't criticize. I'm like, no, that's stupid. Like,
Let me. Can I bring something up though?
go.
And I might completely be wrong about this stereotype, so correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like the people who care the most about the console wars are Xbox players.
I don't know, man. I see it more on Sony, to be honest.
Do you see it with PlayStation?
I see it more with Sony, to be honest.
Do you really?
I
think it's more Sony.
I think it's both. I mean, I think it's both just randos who just like ride or die a specific brand for some fucking reason and just like refuse to acknowledge any praise from one side or the other. And I'm just like, this is stupid.
Yeah,
To be fair, I can't really blame Xbox guys for being like our console's slightly better because they can play their entire games library.
Yeah, but then they
And
but then they don't have
PS5
they
can't.
don't have their own games though.
That's fair. But like you can play any game you want. So
here's
like
the thing,
pick and choose.
Here's the thing with the console war stuff too. It is from both sides, but it's especially Call of Duty players.
Oh yeah.
Oh, dude, so true.
It's almost exclusive.
You kind of have a point. It's usually I gotta go.
My only real
You
criticism.
could make a Venn diagram and it would meet in the middle.
XBH.
My only real criticism with the Game Awards is that I kind of feel like sometimes like certain games are barred from like being nominated. Like for anything.
Do you have an example? I get what you're saying. Do you have like an example by any chance?
Yes, I do, because I'm a salty fan.
Oh.
Listen, 2022, right?
Uh-huh.
Why was Sonic Frontiers not nominated for a music award?
That's very fair.
That's fair.
Not even
That was a
nominated is wild. Because that
Yeah,
literally
that's
had
fair.
like the biggest game soundtrack of the year.
Yeah, people were talking about it for a while too. It's very
Non-Sonic
very weird
fans were talking about it.
I
Yeah,
was
it's
just
crazy.
confused by it all.
But it's
I
like,
was like,
not
why
even-
is why is the soundtrack the way it is? What the fuck?
like it would have lost to Final Fantasy 16, obviously, but like not even a nomination.
Well, no, 16 was.
Yeah,
last
that was
year,
2023.
Oh, was that? Yeah, wrong year.
all good,
My
it's all
bad.
good.
But still, whatever fucking bullshit won the 2022 one. Also, 2022 one, Psychonauts 2 didn't win a single award. You can F right the fuck
No,
off.
that's all.
Also,
I heard the game
this
wasn't
is-
actually bad.
The
also,
game is
this
great. What are you
just-
talking? It's great. I love
I
it.
don't. I didn't
By
play
the
it.
way-
All right. I'm
by the
sorry.
way, this is just a little gripe, right? And I get why they do it. It's kind of like the Oscars, doing a big deal about the the movie of the year essentially. Can we please placate the hey, we're gonna play all of the big themes from the games to the music award? Can we play some from the best music of the year award? Because I feel like it's kind of more apt to be like, here's why this game won the best music. Here's the theme played by an orchestra. Instead of here's this, because there was one like last year or the year before where I was like, I can't believe we're listening to this played by an orchestra, because it's like I can't remember what it was, but like it's so weird because some of the Game of the Year nominees are like the music is so not orchestra
Or orchestral.
Or even
Like,
like,
it's
there are
not-
like some where it's like the music in the game is just like just generic orchestral score. So it's like, oh cool, the recognizable theme from this game? Question
like,
mark?
It's like if you do the best music, like again, I cannot state it enough. I just wanted to hear them play the FF16.
I just wanted to hear "Find a Flame" or whatever.
Yeah,
it's
that's a
called.
good point.
Yeah, find the
I think it is Find the Flame. Actually,
flame would have been fucking. Oh,
Or even like bare
dumb.
minimum it, like have it like whoever wins that award, after they announce the award, have them play a track from it or something, and then move on to the next.
That
thing.
being
Like,
said, I have a big soft spot for the fact that as promotion for FF7 Rebirth, they did the vocal track of the song of the game on stage.
Hell
That's cool.
yeah!
Hell.
Oh man,
Speaking
that's
of
so good.
speaking of the last Game Awards in FF16, FF16 was also cheated out of a Game of the Year nomination. I'm sorry.
It really was. Thank
I
you
mean,
so
y'all-
much. That really
y'all know what I thought was cheated out of Game of Year of the War nomination, but that's just me.
Was that Hi-Fi?
Yeah, it was Hi-Fi. I think it
Yeah.
should have been there.
Oh,
it
I
should have
thought-
been there at least.
2022.
I thought Lucas was gonna say Pow Pop.
No,
the
fuck
video
Pal
game
Pop.
was
That guy
Rob,
fucking
but-
blows.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Oh. I was gonna say in 2022 best music, like best score and music, I guess it was between like Ragnarok, Elden Ring, and a bunch of other stuff. I was like, oh shit. So I Sonic Forces, I guess, like I could see it.
Not
Meta Man.
Forces. Forces soundtrack sucks. Ka.
Oh, I thought it was Forces. Oh, I thought you meant sorry, not
Frontiers.
Forces. Frontier. I don't know.
Yeah.
They both start with an F. But I will say, I don't know if this is like the closing statement, but I will say, like, not having everything that we have now, it just doesn't. It for me hasn't really felt special. I've always just kind of like shrugged at announcements. coming out
It's
for
felt
some,
very
like,
status
Yeah.
quo lately.
things.
I agree with you on
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, it's felt very static. Static is I think
yeah,
the word,
apathetic,
right?
yeah.
But just there was something about E3 that just it was awesome.
Even old
it was
Game
so
Awards,
sick.
like one of my most cherished memories, and you're gonna appreciate this, Phil. One
I
of my
will.
most cherished memories of the Game Awards was when all of us went to your place and watched I forget what year it was, but it was
It was
game,
old.
Yeah, it was when the Game Awards were still on Spike TV.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Oh my
I watched fucking like E3 on like I think it was Spike or maybe it was G4. I don't know, but I watched those on TV. Also.
It was G4.
Yeah, it
Okay.
was G4.
Okay.
And then GameSpot too
Yeah.
did it, like online.
But like I
medias did
remember
it.
going to your place, hanging out with everybody, and we were watching the Game Awards where the Game of the Year nominations were Skyrim, Batman Arkham City, Uncharted 3, and some other fucking... I think Borderlands 2 was the other one.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Slappers.
That's so ancient.
And I'm like... And I remember, I was like, please, I know Skyrim's gonna win, but I really want it to be Batman. And it was Skyrim, and I was so pissed.
I was like, hey man, so that was 2011.
Yeah,
Stop.
dude, I know.
Stop.
I know.
All right, I want to move on. I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
I don't want to do this.
He's like, I feel old now. We need to
but
leave.
yeah, overall, I need to go. I need to leave. But yeah, do gamers take it seriously? Yes, some do. Some take it more seriously than others. I kind of take it a little seriously. I think it's fun. I think it's fun to kind of be like, no, you're wrong. No, you're wrong.
I think it's more fun rather than I take it seriously.
I think so. I think there are people that do take it really seriously, and we use gamers like derogatorily.
I can't get into movie like the Oscars as much. So this is what I have. This is the shit that I know about.
Well, again, like I said before with the Oscars, there feels like there's more passion around the Game Awards versus the fucking Oscars. I'm also biased, but I don't like the Oscars.
Even regardless, like if I was like a huge movie buff, I'd still watch the Oscars. Like more so, but like I am much more like, I know the analytics of why this game might be picked over this. You know what I mean? Like,
you're knowledgeable.
I can discuss. Yeah, and it's like that's where it comes down to. If I had enough of that analytical knowledge about movies, then I might actually still have interest in the Oscars as well.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I said it myself. Like I saw people being like, Deadpool Wolverine should be in the Oscars," and I went, "Dude, wait, if Deadpool Wolverine got nominated, I would shit."
That would be cool. It would be cool, but it's just the Academy isn't
that's
like
a deal.
That. It's just not going to do that.
That's not even an exaggeration. That is a deal with the universe. I will shit my pants if Deadpool Wolverine is nominated for Oscar. And by nominated, someone said Best Picture, and I specify Best Picture. There's a deal with the universe. There's a deal with the universe because there's no fucking way.
So I guess going on from that, this is my question because I think because we've had this discussion, just like other people with me have had this discussion. Feelings about remakes as a whole, and I say as a whole because it varies between like remake and remaster. And this kind of started with people talking about Silent Hill 2. Silent Hill 2 remake was coming out. Some people were like, it's going to suck, it's bad, because it's on by Team Blooper, because Team Blooper did 2 other mediocre horror games that are like walking sims. Shockingly enough, they actually made really good combat choices for Silent Hill 2.
Yeah, I was shocked to hear all like the praise for it, because I was kind of in that camp where I'm not knowledgeable on it enough, so I couldn't really talk too much on it. Like
it came out and it's so fucking good. It's actually phenomenal.
That's great.
Now, some people are kind of in the camp of like, I don't think 2 needed a remake. If anything, I would want 4. And I kind of agree. I think Silent Hill 4 would be a cool remake. I'm like that with Resident Evil 0. I think Resident Evil 0 would be a really cool remake. I'd love to see Capcom do that next. Or even Code Veronica. Like, wait on 5. I want 5
I think they've been hinting on Code Veronica specifically. There's been a lot of talk about that.
That'd be so sick. And you have some people that are like, no, this game still sucks. It's dumb and stupid, and because they don't want to admit that they're wrong. And then there's the other side of like, remakes are so oversaturated. We want newer things. And I think that's, to me personally, I think that's more of a response to like what Sony's doing with like, here's a remake of Horizons again. Here's a remake of The Last of Us 2 again, which is weird because The Last of Us 2 isn't even that old.
Yeah.
But I think, personally, faithful remakes are good because it gives the younger gen, or maybe, I don't know, someone like Lucas or Pete, as an example, who didn't really get a chance to play these older games. I don't know, Pete's here. I don't know what other games he's played. I say the younger gen, but he's a year younger than me.
How old are you?
How old are you? I'm 29.
Oh, you're older than me. I'm 28, turning 29 in December.
I'm the oldest. Oh, shit, I'm the oldest one.
You are actually
but
older.
I thought you were way younger than that, actually.
I'm older than Bottles.
Oh, shit. Oh my god. Okay, anyway, so ignore everything I just said. I think it gives the younger gen a way to play this game because play some of these older games, because if you go on eBay with retro video game collecting and like the lockdown and everything, if you wanted to play on the original software, it's about like $500 to $600 to play Silent Hill 2 on a PS2 versus getting a fucking PS5 with a remake, which would be $400. Like I don't know what to do, man.
I also fully believe that if first of all, gaming trends change, and so look at F7, right? When original F7 came out, people loved the story, people loved the world, and at the time, people loved turn-based RPGs, but people still do, but that worked really well at the time, especially because back then, like how FF7 looked was the peak. How could gaming look any better? You know? But now we have newer tech, newer graphics, better concepts because we've had like prequels and stuff like Crisis Core, and like we've had new additions to the series, and someone like me who doesn't really like the OG styles of the OG Final Fantasy games, because I'm sorry, I have trouble getting into turn-based most of the time. Gotten better with it, but I'm still, my attention span doesn't allow me to really get that deep into them. Playing FF7 Remake and Rebirth has been fantastic because, first of all, they have new performances for the characters that are fantastic. I mean, before, I didn't really care that much about Aerith, and now I'm a sad man.
Who's gonna tell him? Who's gonna tell him?
What do you mean who's gonna tell me? I played the game.
Who's gonna tell him?
What the fuck do you mean? I played.
Who's gonna tell him? He's just asking a question.
Who's gonna tell him? Who's gonna tell him? Comments? Who's gonna tell him?
Who's gonna tell him? Who's gonna tell him about Aerith?
If I remembered to upload it, there would be footage of me crying on Twitch.
I hope if someone does comment, I hope someone does comment it and then the video gets uploaded.
I didn't save it. All my FF7 stuff has been removed from Twitch because I didn't save the VODs. I hate myself for it.
That's unfortunate.
But it's fine. It's okay. We move on. But I think the whole thing with remakes is that as long as you're doing it for a purpose, you're adding, you're not changing the story. I don't think that's unnecessary. Although I do like that FF7 is using the opportunity to create a new kind of setup.
Because at that point, if you just make it the same game, that's just a remaster, not even a remake.
Right, which is still fun. Like again, I agree that like a remaster of 7 with this, where it's like nothing has changed, would still be cool.
You're right.
I think taking the opportunity to change it up. I mean, it's the same thing with movie remakes, where it's like I don't have a problem if you're remaking a really old movie because you might add something to it with your own identity that makes it worth existing. The problem comes in when you remake something that happened like 5 years ago. Or, you know what I mean? Where it's like, what's the point of this? You know what I mean? What is this really for? The difference with gaming is that, okay, you could argue technology's better and we have more reason to remake. Like, Sonic Generations did not need a remaster, but then they added Shadow Generations with it. And it's like, at that point, because they're using the engine as a build-off point, might as well make a Generations remaster because it's
also, it's like, they knew what to advertise, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
Like, after the initial announcement trailer for Sonic and Shadow Generations, all of the advertisement was just showing Shadow Generations, because they knew it's like, we know what Sonic Generations is. We want to see the new shit.
Right. So it's like the thing is that, like, if you're able to change something or add something to it that, makes me go, oh, that sounds interesting, I want to check that out, then yeah, I don't care. Remake whatever you want to fucking remake, man. And maybe I'll play the remake because I didn't play the original, and now I can enjoy, like you said, Phil. Like it brings a new generation of gamers in.
It brings a new whole generation. That's just how I feel. I know.
Maybe it's not necessarily like a new generation, literally, like the new generation. But maybe it's like, I didn't play it before because it didn't interest me. But now that I'm in a state of gaming where I can afford to buy myself a video game instead of I want to play that game,
I want to
now
play
maybe I'll play
game.
Yeah. If I may take a second here for this topic, because I actually, seeing this topic on here, I'm actually kind of glad. Philly, you put this, right?
I did put this one. I put this one.
We talked about this during one of the push-up buttons when I think we were talking about, like, there was a Nintendo Direct where it was, like, a bunch of things were revealed, but a lot of them were just, like, remakes and stuff. Like, when they revealed, like, Paper Mario and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think it was, like, Paper Mario and, like, Mario vs. Donkey Kong, too.
And, like, I there's very few moments when we do push our buttons where I think about something I said it and I'm like, not that I'm without. I'm not saying like without like that conversation. I did not phrase my feelings during that properly. It was very like. It sounded very just like, no, there's too many remakes. And I'm just like, I really think about it now, and I want to like kind of like almost rectify that a little bit, where it's like, I do think in the current landscape of modern games, that's definitely a trend right now. Remakes are definitely a massive trend right now. I think it's really the same point that I have as what you guys have already said is I think a remake is good that it lets people play games that they've never played before. Because, like, fun fact, Crash, never played a single Crash game growing up, but when they announced the remake collection, I ended up picking up the PS1 games to try them out. I'm like, oh, wow, I would have liked these growing up, actually, a lot. And then I got the collection, and I was like, oh, shit, I like this series now, truthfully. And the thing is, like you said, it's all a matter of, like, to me, the biggest thing is, like, did this need a remake? Because something like... I'm not even a Last of Us hater. I know a lot of people don't like Last of Us, and I think that's fair. I think there's some really cool stuff in those games, and the stories are really good. Why did they get PS5 remakes? Like, it's like, that's... Why?
Yeah, I don't understand.
Especially 2.
Why?
I was like, what? But why, though? But what?
I can understand, like, Last of Us 1.
Even that
maybe,
was, like, a slight...
but, like, that's
because at least
push.
Last of Us 1, they put on the engine that was 2. That 2 had.
Yeah.
I believe that was the case.
I think they made it for 4.
But it's like...
Yeah,
and same thing with, like, the Horizon one. But then there's something like Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door. That game has been screaming for a remake for years because it's the same vein of what we were talking about earlier, where retro games are so fucking expensive now, and this is an iconic fucking game of that era. And now people get to fucking play it again. And yeah, it's a little different. Yeah. And I'm sure there's certain differences people don't like versus what people like from the original, but like it's still a faithful remake of the game that adds some new like music to it as well, enhances the game, and it's like I think that's where I am with remakes, where it's like I do think there's a lot of them coming out. Some of them that are just like, did we need to do this? And like I also still don't know how I feel about like remastering like a Game Boy game and then making it like almost a full price game. I don't know how I feel about that one.
Well,
but
I think sorry to interrupt.
No, go.
But to add to your point in that, I think you're right. I think it is a trend.
Yeah.
And it is one where some of them are going to be kind of pointless, and it's like why are we remastering this? But it's not to bring on the oncoming tide of all remakes suck.
Yeah.
Why are there so many remakes? It's more so, well, we know it's a trend. I mean, trends happen. It's the same thing with to relate this to movies again. It's the same thing with like people being like, oh, there's too many super movies. When realistically, what you should be doing is like, oh, the bigger problem. The bigger problem is there's too many cinematic universes. Yeah. There's too many things trying to connect. It's like superhero movies as a genre is not an encapsulating thing that is problematic, because let's be honest, there's some really good things in that field, in that superhero genre. You know what I mean? Yeah. So to embellish it, it's the same thing here. It's like there are some really fucking good remakes out there. To embellish it as this is a problem of the market right now is kind of doing a disservice.
I can agree with you on that.
Yeah, it feels a little disingenuous.
Yeah, and I think that's why I wanted to kind of like correct course of my initial talk when we initially talked about it for myself, because I was just like, that's not really how I meant that. I meant it more in the sense of just like, I think there's a lot of remakes coming out because, like I said, it's the current trend of the games, and it might maybe even be a behind the scenes thing where it's kind of just easier to do that right now, for some cases, just because of the whole how everyone knows how the gaming industry is right now. Jesus,
I could imagine. It's one of those things, and also like one of those things of like people going, well, why not just make a new game? We discussed it a couple weeks ago. Games are expensive to make, and a lot of games are like make or break when they released. And I do like to think, and then there's two sides. It's like money grubbing. Like there are some that are money grabbing, like like what Sony's doing. Yeah. But then there's Team Blooper that genuinely always wanted to work on a Silent Hill game, and they finally got to do it. They killed it. It's such a good remake.
And that's honestly, that's awesome to hear as someone who is very skeptical, because like I said, for the exact reasons, I saw Blooper Team's review stuff, I'm like, I don't know about this. This is like one of the most iconic like horror games of that era, and I'm like, I don't know. But no, I'm glad I was wrong.
It's also the trailers didn't help either, because a lot of people are like, oh no, which is shocker as a surprise to no one. Trailers don't help.
So the thing that I kind of want to add on to this point of like how I feel about remakes as a whole. So it is true, yes, it is a trend, and you know, this is coming from someone who is genuinely excited about the fucking Croc remake.
They're adding so much shit to that though. It's crazy.
I know. I know. But like, here's the thing about the remakes. I like them. I like when they come out with a new game or like an old game on the newer consoles. I like that. I definitely really appreciate it when it's something like the Resident Evil remakes, where it's like, it's the same game, but it's not.
Yeah.
Or especially like,
agree with you.
like I played original RE4. It's the only Resident Evil game I've ever beaten.
Yeah.
And then I played RE4 remake, and I'm like, oh my god, this is like insane.
If I may just to comment on that really quick, I think it's crazy that they managed to pull some black magic where they made Resident Evil 4 remake, and it still is like, you can go back and play Resident Evil, like the original version. It's like, this is still a solid game in its own right.
Yeah.
Like it's they're both different experiences, and they're both really fucking good.
I really like that in the 4 remake, the Krauser. The Krauser boss fight's like more than just like a sniper battle.
Yeah.
Which don't get me wrong,
God.
sniper battles are really cool. Don't get me wrong, sniper battles are really cool, but I like that it's like almost, I mean, it's an action horror game, but I like that aspect that it was super like,
and that's a very
action-y
personal connection
and, like,
between
flashy.
Leon and Krauser specifically too. And it's like
so I thought that was really cool.
But to add on to my point, what I don't care for with the video game industry right now, because there's so many things I care for,
So true.
is I don't think people in general, including myself, I don't think they would mind the remakes that much if it wasn't the thing getting the most attention.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's the way they're marketed that makes them seem more abundant and more obnoxious. Because like, you know, with if you want, like, even with like Mario versus Donkey Kong, a game that very much like came and went, you know, right before it came out, it was like the biggest fucking thing. It was the only thing Nintendo was advertising. And then compare that to something like,
That's fair.
Like Echoes of Wisdom. Like, say what you will about the quality of both of those games. I don't know. I didn't play Echoes yet. But it's the fact of the matter is like Mario versus Donkey Kong got so much advertising time to the point where I was seeing it every 2 seconds on fucking YouTube ads. But then Echoes of Wisdom comes out, and I swear to God, it was like, oh shit, that came out?
I don't think they had faith in that one, to be honest.
I don't think so either, but apparently it did okay.
Yeah, I have no stake on it. Zelda's one of those series that's just like over the head. I don't really like it.
But like, it's the kind of thing where it's like, and it's also the thing of like, that pisses me off as the marketing aspect of it, but it's also, I firmly believe, especially because it's a tried and true method, and that a lot of companies are not taking advantage of. I don't like when you come out with a remake and that's all you do.
That's a good point.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't do anything else.
Well, it's like, it's in the case of like, okay, let's look at Crash, right?
Yeah.
So we got the Crash Insane trilogy. We got Crash Nitro Fueled. And then after that, what do? They made a new fucking Crash game, and it did amazing. You know, say what you will about how Crash 4 is fucking torturing me. Holy shit, is it one of the best Crash games ever made?
Awesome. It's great.
And it did so well, and it brought Crash Bandicoot back into the mainstream. And then now let's take Spyro, where they made the Spyro Reignited trilogy, and where's my new fucking Spyro game? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then let's take the other extreme, the one that we've been complaining about this whole time. Let's take The Last of Us, right? So we have The Last of Us, we have The Last of Us Part 2. Then we have The Last of Us Part 1, which is The Last of Us 1 again. And then we have The Last of Us Part 2, I don't know, Part 2? Like, what are you fucking calling that one?
It's just called Remastered, I think. It's Last of Us
Whatever.
Remastered or some shit.
So it's like Last of Us 2 Part 2 Remaster is now coming out on the PS5. So in the past, like, fucking 10 years, what has Naughty Dog done other than remaking the first 2 Last of Us games?
Yeah.
Like, can Naughty Dog move on? Like, let's be real. Let's look at how Naughty Dog has been pissing me off the past like couple of years, because it's like they're fucking up their trend, and the trend that was tried and true and worked for them, where the PlayStation 1, they had Crash. The PlayStation 2, they moved on from Crash entirely and said, okay, we're going to make something new, and that's where we got Jak and Daxter.
Yeah.
And then the PlayStation 3 happened, and they're like, okay, we're done with Jak and Daxter. We're going to make something new, and that's how we got Uncharted. Mm-hmm. All 3 series, fucking stellar. Yeah. And they kind of broke it a little bit by also releasing The Last of Us on PS3, but it was kind of closer to when the PS4 came out.
Yeah, it was tail end of PS3. It was tail end.
Yeah, so it might. So the PS4 was The Last of Us, because then you also got Last of Us Part 2, like in the middle of the PS4 cycle. Yeah. And now that the PS5 is out, what's Naughty Dog's fucking new IP? Nothing. It's just more Last of Us.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I know that The Last of Us is probably their the first Last of Us game is their most critically acclaimed game. I understand. Yeah. And I also understand that it's very popular. It made a ton of money. And, you know, the TV show came out, and the TV show did really good, apparently. I didn't watch it. It's very good. But
as someone who played the games, it's really solid.
But like...
Yeah, it's a good one.
But like, it's getting really tiring that the only thing out of Naughty Dog now is The Last of Us.
Yeah, they're a Last of Us machine. Like I get that feeling completely, where it's just like, oh yeah, that's all they do now, and it's just like that sucks. When they had such a wide repertoire prior, and it's like it's frustrating. I totally get it.
And also to channel my inner Steve. Now I know that Steve was very excited about the Haunted Castle remake that they just did.
The what? Oh, for Castlevania.
Yeah,
right,
the Castlevania collection that they just released, and they made a remake of Haunted Castle. Yeah, that's awesome. But like, all you're doing is re-releasing Castlevania games. All you're doing is putting these Castlevania characters in other games. All you're doing is remaking the old games, which is fine, but fucking for fuck's sake, make a new Castlevania game.
Right, 100%.
For fuck's sake.
And I will, now, the one thing I'll say with that, too, because it's the same company, and I don't know what you guys feel about this, but I'm going to just say my 2 cents here, and this kind of maybe goes back a little bit with what I was just saying before, but this is a little more personal one to me. Because Metal Gear Solid Delta is happening, which is a remake of Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. And this is one thing where I gotta say my feelings on it, because I love Hideo Kojima. I love his work, and I love Metal Gear Solid and all the stuff he's part of. Even with how much got botched out of Metal Gear Solid 5, which a lot of it wasn't his fault. I mean, there was some things that were, like, there was a lot of back and forth between him and Konami too, but a lot of it was Konami too. I don't know what I feel about Delta, because it just, if his name isn't there, it just doesn't feel right to me. And it's another case where it's like, Metal Gear is a series where it's like, I don't know if I even want another thing without Kojima. That's just me personally, though.
Yeah. Metal Gear Solid Delta is very I have very complex feelings.
Yeah, that's the best way for me to phrase that. I have complex feelings on it. It's
because it's also, okay, so because the thing that I'm worried about the most is that they're remaking a Metal Gear Solid game, right? And they chose Metal Gear Solid 3 because Metal Gear Solid 3 is the most successful one.
Yeah, that's the one everyone loves, and that's like,
I am very afraid of how disingenuous this remake's going to be.
Yeah, it's
because of that. And also, the thing that I'm also worried about is, like, you can say what you will about Metal Gear Solid 3, and, like, you know, like, it is one of the best games in the series.
Yeah, it's
a lot of people think it is the best game in the series. I would disagree.
I think most Metal Gear fans have their favorite one, and it's always going to be a debate.
Yeah. But the problem with remaking Metal Gear Solid 3 and having Metal Gear Solid 3 potentially be someone's now introduction into the Metal Gear Solid series, so many of the things in Metal Gear Solid 3's story does not pack as much of a punch if you don't have the context of 1 and 2.
I have never been a fan of playing Metal Gear in, like, like chronological order where it's like
No,
like you have to play them in order. It just it doesn't flow as well if you don't. Like it's just the truth.
Also, like, here's the thing, right? Okay, what is the ending? Like, okay, spoilers for Metal Gear Solid 3, a fucking 20-year-old game.
No way.
What is the ending of Metal Gear Solid 3 that packs the biggest punch? This is how Naked Snake becomes Big Boss.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know who Big Boss is and what Big Boss becomes, that means nothing.
Yeah.
You need the context of the first 4 games to know who Big Boss is. And know why Big Boss is a big deal.
Yeah. And you mean the first...
I get it. I get
the first
it.
4 in the sense of Metal Gear and Metal Gear Snake's Return, right?
Yeah.
Or Revenge, I forget.
Yeah. Well, Metal Gear 1 and Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake.
Yeah, my bad. Thank you.
I know recently, speaking of Metal Gear, I know recently like the HD collection got an update with something.
I think it was just
what
patches because there were some technical issues initially, and it's I think it was just that.
Yeah. So I mean, at least there's a way to play like
Yes.
1, 2.
Do you guys know about? I don't want to tangent this too long. I mean, we're at the end, but it's like, do you know about Metal Gear Solid 4 and why there's such an issue of getting a re-release of that game? There actually is a legitimate reason.
I was actually going to say I know
music?
a lot of people.
The reason is the PS3's coding was so fucking weird that it's actually legitimately difficult to port it.
Oh, damn.
Like it's legit.
That's really
it's like legitimately an issue. Like with the way that game was made.
I was gonna say like I know 4 is the one that kind of really like needs the remake.
because
it's stuck on the PS3.
Stuck on the PS3.
Yeah. You can only play it on the PS3.
Before we wrap up or anything, I want to add my point to the whole whole discussion. Because my final point with the whole remake thing is that I've seen a lot of people in my circles on the internet. There's been a lot of people being like, you know what needs a remake? Kingdom Hearts 1. And I go, no. Not a single one of those games needs a remake. They have somehow gained the ability to be completely ageless.
Yeah, I get it.
Somehow Square Enix has found the perfect style and appearance of these games. Because keep in mind, Square Enix at the tip top of taking a game and making a completely new build of the game. They took Chain of Memories on the Game Boy Advance, and they gave us Chain of Memories on the PS2, a completely rebuilt 3D game based around a GBA game, and they just made it a little bonus pack with King H2 Final Mix in Japan, and only America got it here separately. And I point that out because it really is the touch and go thing of remake culture being, if you can add something, if you can make it a purposeful remake, then I will openly welcome it. But to suggest a game like Kingdom Hearts 1, which mind you, yeah, that's like a 20-year-old game. But here's the thing, it's actually a PS3 game because they had to rebuild it from scratch when they did the collection. So at this point, it's a pretty fucking game. And none of those fucking games need a fucking remake.
I also like.
All right.
Yeah.
Also, they would remake it with Unreal Engine, and it would lose all its sauce, just like KH3.
Hey, can I say what
Just
that
like
is for
KH3.
me? And I don't know if you guys feel different about this. There's always people clamoring for them to remake Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. I don't think you can do that. I think those are tied to their era as well, myself personally.
I agree.
Like,
I am one of those people where I feel I would welcome a Sonic Adventure
I'd
1
like
and
to
2
see
remake.
it. I'd like to see it.
But I'm more so like, I want it for the novelty. I don't think I actually want it.
No, I don't.
Yeah,
I don't think
fair.
Sega. I think Sega. Well, so after Sonic Shadow Generation, I think if they stuck to that engine and that setup, we could see a pretty decent remake. But the problem is that a lot of the charm that Adventure 1 and 2 have, because of what they are and how they present themselves, would be lost.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
It's the late 90s, early 2000s cheese.
Yeah. If you lose that charm, I'm gonna look at it and go, man, SA2 sucks.
No, that's what I'm kind of saying. Is that it is. And I mean this in the most loving way. It is a product of when those games came out, and I wouldn't want them any other way, truthfully.
Also,
well, like
SA2,
imagine like this is the perfect scenario to prove it. Imagine playing Sonic Adventure and not hearing, "Oh no."
Yeah.
But also,
yeah,
SAO
you're right.
was released at a time when Sega thought that they were done.
Yeah.
And so SA2, and the reason why we get shit in the game like wishes are eternal, and Shadow comes in just to die at the end. It's because they thought that was the end. I'm just gonna say it. Just like with Toy Story 3, imagine how good of an ending to a franchise Sonic Adventure 2 would have been.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Like, that would have been such a fucking high note, man. Like, we would have been talking about it to this day and been like, damn, bro, what a way to go out. But no, Shadow came back the next fucking game. And then we had to deal with, am I a real Shadow or am I an android? For like a little too long. I know it was only really for like one other game, but it was still a little too long.
Well, to be fair, you say it like it was only one other game, but those two games had a 2-year difference.
Yeah, and a 2-year difference, and one of them was like a multi-ending game that took you a bit to finish.
I was gonna say, is it Heroes and Shadow the Hedgehog?
Yeah, Heroes and Shadow.
Okay.
Also, but also, even at the end of that game, when he goes, I am who I am, the only line that fully confirms that he's not an android is like while you're fighting.
And it's 9 minutes in.
Right, and if you don't hear that line, his line at the end of I am who I am Shadow the Hedgehog, could just be him deciding to just believe that he is. You don't even necessarily know that it's confirmed unless you hear that line mid-battle. You know? So, like, it's like such a weird thing. Like, because, like, for the longest time, I didn't. I just thought he believed he was, and we were just meant to accept that. But we didn't fully know until I found that line online. So, like, I just think that if you're going to remake those games, and you take out the sauce that they had, it's gonna leave a sour taste.
Yeah, I agree.
So it's better that we just
that's like, and that's what I really mean. I really mean like a faithful, like soulful remake versus like a remake versus like a soulless like I guess you could say cash grab, right?
Also, on the side of KH1 remake again, I'm gonna be honest, as a man who has played Kingdom Hearts 50 times, just trying to replay the franchise, but stopping midway and deciding to start again a month later, so I play Kingdom Hearts 1 again. So I've played Kingdom Hearts 1 50 fucking times. You don't want to play Kingdom Hearts 1 again. Just go to 2. Just skip to 2. Don't play 1 again. They tried to do platforming. It didn't fucking work. The combat's jank. Don't do it.
I have to validate you here.
God.
Because my one dear friend here in my town, who is a diehard Kingdom Hearts fan, he's been his whole life, always tells me that same exact thing. Like, he always tells me if I were to...
Like,
I believe it.
I'm not gonna lie. After going through the Kingdom Hearts series, there is probably only like one important moment in Kingdom Hearts 1.
Is it Come Guardian?
Even if listen, there's a lot of stuff that I like about Kingdom Hearts 1. Like, I'm not saying
of course not. Of course not.
It's a great game. It started the franchise because it was decent. It's a good RPG. But the problem is that it's so floaty. It's like, and like you could argue, okay, they remake it and they take that stuff out. But the thing is, you have to build the game the same way. So you have to keep the platforming. You have to keep the puzzles, right? But okay, they change the physics. You change those physics a single bit, and you cheese the whole game. And I say this as someone who's been playing multi-world Kingdom Hearts 1 with other stuff, where we're able to add 2 more high jumps and 2 more super glides, and you add those into the game, and nothing matters. So you change the physics even slightly, and those platforming puzzles are pointless anyway. So you have to remake it exactly the same way, and you don't want to play that again. So just don't. Just save yourself the trouble. You don't want to play KH1 again. I'm sorry to tell everybody what they want. You don't want that.
My final point. Can I have a remake of Parappa the Rappa, please?
That'd be sick. Who's that studio anyway?
Didn't they do one?
Did they?
They might have actually remastered.
Don't fucking tell me. I'm looking it up.
Oh wait, they might have. They might have.
Forget remakes. Can I have my third Knights game?
Yes. Yes, please. Yes.
Yeah,
I think we've taken. I think we've taken enough of the space between the last one and the new one, just like the first Knights and the second Knights. I think we've hit that distance again. Can we get the third one? I think Knights has done hibernating.
Hey, Bottles, I'm sorry to
Yeah.
do this to you. Parappa the Rapper got remastered in 2017, and it's on PS4.
I see this.
You're right.
That's too long ago. I need one like next year.
I forgot about that.
I needed to be remastered with Parappa the Rapper 2 and
That's fair.
Lammy.
That's fair.
Yeah. Like what Pete said, there doesn't need to be a remake of KH1, and I most likely I agree with him. I don't know. He's the Kingdom Hearts guy, and there also is some merit to there are games that do have like an HD collection, like Devil May Cry has one, and that collection's pretty good, and like it's accessible. And the reason why I don't mind Silent Hill 2 remake is because the Silent Hill HD collection with 2 and 3 is fucking terrible, and I don't even think it's on Steam anymore, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I heard horror stories of that one.
If you want to talk about shitty HD collections,
like ports, I guess, right? Not ports, but like a shitty HD collection, because the one for Xbox, for the collection that originally came out on Xbox 360 and PS3 are fucking terrible, and on PC they're even worse.
Brother, you're talking to the guy who fucking hates Dragon Ball Z Budokai HD
Oh,
collection.
that shit's fucking stanky.
I heard it's bad, right?
Here's the thing. 1, it's bad. 2, a lot of the music got changed because of the fucking plagiarism shit. So it's not... A lot of, like, the intro music to Budokai 3 fucking sucks now. But also, the biggest sin of the HD collection...
Where's Budokai 2?
It's so weird.
Yeah,
it's so
no,
weird that they
Budokai
just
2.
skipped over
Listen,
that.
Well, it's because they're like, oh, nobody liked Budokai 2, so we're just gonna skip it. And it's like, I like Budokai 2. Fuck you.
The one
But,
person.
I liked the board game aspect. I liked the fusions. We lost so much with Budokai 2, man. We had Tiencha, we had the Boo absorptions, we had we had so much fucking shit coming out of Budokai 2, nowhere else.
Yeah, and it's like, why?
Yeah, then you had Begingi.
Like, why did we have to wait until Dragon Ball Fusions to get What If Fusions again? And even then, they didn't come back.
And I played
that weird
recently.
DS game, right?
It's a 3DS game.
I played
3DS
Fusions
game,
recently,
right.
and it is a very weird game
It's
to
weird.
play.
It's strange.
All right.
It's like, just...
Yeah.
That's what... Sparking Zero should have just gave us fucking Tiencha again. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, you want cool what ifs? Don't give me, I win now. Give me, holy shit, these two characters decided to fuse.
We also got Goku.
Yeah, Goku.
Yeah, dog.
Goku is disgusting.
The best character in the game.
My favorite moment with the fusion, which is Hercule. This is it. This is all I have. Gives it to Hercule. The first thought in that fusion's mind. Oh no!
Yeah.
Like
So true.
Goku is committing because he has to for the sake of the world, and the first thought the fusion has is we're fucked. We're doomed. It's over.
It's also really funny to me. Explain this one to me, because this was even like, Goku's based off of like a gag in the show. But like, why is Goku so small?
Is he small?
Yeah, he's like shorter than both Goku and Mr. Satan.
He's a manlet. Yeah, he's a manlet.
But it's like, why? None of them are short.
But it's the question is he taller than Vegeta? That's the real question.
I don't think so.
No, I actually
not Pete. And are you taller than Vegeta?
I don't know how tall is Vegeta. Okay, so he's 5. It says so he's 5 foot 3.8 inches, which essentially makes him 5'4", which means I am 1 inch shorter than Vegeta.
That's so funny.
Hey, most of it might be hair. Most of it might be hair.
To wrap this part up for because I'm the one with the question. I do think faithful remakes can be good, and I think there are a lot of benefits. I understand like business wise, you can be dumb and shitty because maybe that's all they do now and no new game, and people want new things, and it's like the printing machine. Like, I guess we're doing remakes now because it's like, here's 2 games no one likes, and then here's a remake everyone loves it. It's like, I guess we'll just do this now since someone likes our other games. And I think it is beneficial because people can actually play them now instead of going back to the first point of Nintendo Strikes Again, where they get mad at you for playing an emulator and they get rid of the emulator. So instead of doing that, the game is actually released now, and I think that's one of the cool things about one of the better parts of a remake. But that's just me. personally, that's just me. I understand the need for wanting something new, and hell, even with Silent Hill, they did make a new game that was on PS5, and it was, depending on who you ask, it was okay. And they are making a new Silent Hill game. We just don't know what it is. I also don't count the Silent Hill game that you literally watch on the online. That game is not. That is probably not done by AI. By the way, the script, someone was just that bad at writing.
Damn.
So we've all said our piece.
Yeah, I think that's really about it. I think we had a lot of good ones.
I think there were a lot of legitimately really into conversations tonight, King.
Let's go, okay.
That's what I call a podcast.
Okay, well, not
and
that
none of them pushed our buttons.
All right.
Well, everyone, welcome to the end of the podcast.
This is our outro.
I'm back.
This is our outro.
I'm back, everyone.
Hey, Lois. Peter, the horse is here. But that's the end of this episode of Push Your Buttons podcast. If you really enjoyed what you see, you can hit that subscribe button and I guess see when we hit the bell and get notified when we stream or upload videos. Mainly Ant, because he's the one who uploads
Bottles,
the
thought on this pitch?
I just
pitch Bottles that Phil's doing right now?
A what?
Thoughts on the sign out from Phil? For the channel?
I think I'm doing a pretty good sign
Okay, so far he's doing pretty good.
Sick.
I would give it a solid 6 out of 10 right now, but he could really at the end of the game he could really crash and burn, and it would be a terrible for the team.
And then I just die.
Anyway, you can find our socials linked in the description below. I'm Days for Days. You can find my Twitter.
I'm Phil69.
I'm Lucas from.
I was in the middle. I was in the middle.
Phil, do you want to go? Pete, do you want to go back and finish first?
That's the question.
Yeah, I was in the middle of my fucking thing, and Phil just goes, "Oh, I'm this." I'm like, "Yeah, I know who you are." But all right, so listen, I'm Days for Days. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram, where I post my art from time to time. Speaking of my art, you can also find my Ko-fi page in the description below, where you can commission me to make you art. Now then, who are you, sir? Phil? What's your name?
I'm just Phil69. I'm a funny little card game guy who posts memes on the internet and plays card games, and wants to do stuff like that soon, and maybe stream again, because I think that'd be really fun. You can find me on Twitter, Phil69, and you can find me on that cool little Butterfly, the new Butterfly social media page called Blue Sky, because I made one of those just in case if everything on Twitter crashes and burns and explodes. So you can find me there as well. And I also post memes on there and talk about anime and stuff like that, because that's what I'm passionate about, unfortunately. I could have been a doctor, could have been a lawyer, but instead I'm passionate about video games and anime. Can't believe it.
Going off of that, as someone who also wakes up in the morning being like, man, I could have been a doctor or something really important. Hi, everyone. My name's Lucas. I'm from Palpop. I stream on that YouTube channel. And I also have a Twitter at @LScopeCheck at Palpop, where I do art as well. I also have an Instagram at PalpopTheOthers. And I also did make a Blue Sky thing as well. It's not up yet, but it'll be up eventually. I just claimed my name so no one else could take it, honestly.
Fair enough. That's what I did.
But I also am someone in the same vein of what you were saying, Phil, was like, I could have been a doctor, but instead, I play video games and collect action figures.
Dude, that's the best kind. I also love
hell yeah, brother.
Hell yeah, big dog.
All right.
And I'm Bottles, you know who I am. You're on my channel. I don't want to be a doctor because I hate people.
So true, Bessie.
So yeah, like, share, subscribe. Like the man said, if you want to help us out a lot, you can become a channel member, get videos a day early or earlier if I decide to put them out earlier. Essentially, you get them before everybody else. You could have seen this yesterday, probably. Also, you can go into the description below, go to our merch store, buy our shirts, mugs, and stickers. Or you could go into the description and leave a tip so that we can have money to make videos for you guys. The videos are getting bigger, so there's going to be a lot more going into them, so look forward to that. Does anybody
Maybe I won't.
But before we leave, does anybody have anything mean to say?
To who?
Oh, I do. I have
I
have something mean to say to end the podcast. That kind of brings it all full circle a little bit. If you struggled with Grade 8 Vegeta, you're bad.
Yo, he's not wrong.
Oh.
Catch you next time, everyone.
Damn.